welcome back to the Ad Lib Podcast. Today is episode number 38. Before we start this actual podcast, guys, make sure you go and watch our special episode done by Bruce and friend of the show, David, live at the Venice Film Festival. I just posted it today. We're recording this on Monday, so obviously Monday 11th. So go check out Joe's special episode. He and David obviously discuss all the movies that they watched at the Venice Film Festival. It's a very, very, very good episode, 50 minutes long.
I'm just going to stop you there. You said Bruce at first. I just don't know if you want to do it again. You said Bruce instead of Joe. Keep it. I thought maybe I stopped in case you want to do it again because you said like a special episode by Bruce and friend of the show, David.
Joe, I would resign from the podcast, okay? After he tells you that he loves you, that he says that the podcast is yours, Andrea, how could you do that? How could you do that to him? Keep this in the end. No, keep this in the edit. Oh, just say, just small correction. Obviously, it's Joe. Yes.
Last time you don't introduce me until like 2 hours in, and now you introduce me before I'm even meant to be introduced. It's like, decide, guys, introduce me at the right time.
The Bruce curse. It's the Bruce curse.
Go and watch the special episode. It's a very good one, 50 minutes long, done by Joe, not Bruce. Bruce is still in Malta, not in Venice. And obviously friend of the show, David. Go and watch it. And after, come and watch this episode.
Yeah, very proud of him as well. Like, it's the only Maltese podcast that went to Venice. Huh?
Yes.
Next year we go, let's do it, Andrea.
No, definitely next year. I really want to go, Stra. I really want to go next year. Anyways, Bruce, welcome back to the show.
Hi, nice to be back, guys. Thanks for having me
How's
on.
It going?
Very good. I just came back from Fright Fest a couple of weeks ago, which was really fun. I got to show my short film there, which was a real thrill.
True. Congratulations for that, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It was really fun hanging with a bunch of horror nerds like myself. So I felt in very good company. I felt at home. Now I'm back, working on commercials and prepping for video nasties.
All right. Can you participate in video nasties or in any way, or since you're the organizer?
Of course.
You can.
Can I? I'm trying to make a short film for basically Video Nasties. It's a horror short film festival and challenge. So basically, the idea is people make original horror short films. There are certain rules, like they have to be horror, they have to be under 15 minutes, and they have to be original, as in not made beforehand, and they have to premiere at the event. But then any film that meets these rules, any film that's submitted, will get shown. And there are awards to be won and prizes and a lot of stuff. It's really just a way to encourage people to go out and make something, go make short films. And I'm going to be trying to make a short film myself. It won't be eligible for any of the awards. It'll be kind of out of competition, but I'd like to make something. Yeah.
Bruce wins all the awards for his
I do it like North Korea style, I just
No, Malta style. Listen, I mean, we're getting there, because actually I have a pitch for you, so we could. I'll talk to you later on.
Okay, fantastic.
All right. So
nice. And Franco, how's it going, Franco?
It's going. Getting ready to go to Vienna this week. Looking forward. Short break, 5 days. So much of the work was done. Went to the Pride. The opening ceremony. It was a nice atmosphere. There should be some movies I would love to check out, but I think it won't be. I don't have enough time. But for our listeners, do check them out. There are some Maltese entries as well. And there's also going to be an Ingmar Bergman showcase at the place that shall not be mentioned because of Andrea.
No, we can mention it now.
Oh, okay.
Because
Video Nasties is going to be at the place Andrea dislikes.
So the hatchet has been buried. So at St. James.
No, it hasn't. But I'll do.
I think we need to organize some kind of amnesty. You know what I mean? Some kind of ritualistic peace offering, you know.
Yeah. We sacrifice a baby, you know,
We create a wicker man in front of Castile, you know what I mean?
no, Sound of Freedom too will be about us, you know, about the Hollywood elite and Pizzagate, you
Yeah,
know.
It's like
So
the
yeah,
Christmas football match in World War One.
exactly.
yeah.
Basically.
And you are the German side, Allura, Andrea. No.
No. I have justice, and I am right on this. I know I'm right on it. No, I'm joking.
Anyways,
I'm joking.
no. Of course.
I mean,
We are joking,
yeah.
we disclaimer:
Nice.
we are not
Yeah.
baby
Look,
eating monsters, unless
Andrea's misgivings aside, it shows really good films there, and you know the quality and the sound picture is really good. So
No,
I'm
no,
excited to see.
100%.
yeah,
I mean,
but
I used to go there almost every couple of weeks, I think. I mean, the movies they show there are great.
Yeah.
yes.
There are other issues.
I mean,
But anyway, yeah, still reading the same book. I'm a slow reader, I notice, but I think it's the problem is when I read digitally, I cannot. It doesn't keep me going that much. But we'll anyway. I might get it. I might get a physical copy as well. Yeah, that's it.
what book are you reading?
23 things about they don't tell you about capitalism, but it's an interesting book.
Okay.
It's not totally anti-capitalist. Right now I'm in the chapter about Africa and how basically it got fucked over by the IMF because in the 60s and 70s the economy was growing, but because of they basically Africa was going through industrialization in that period. But the problem was that they didn't let the process of industrialization happen and then introduce free market like what happened in England. You know, in England, like in the early 20th century, there was the industrialization and then they introduced the free market principles. But because of the IMF and the aid they needed, they forced like principles on them, and it got fucked over. And it's a good book. Like you understand. Sometimes it loses me because of the terminology. Otherwise, I mean, I can get what he's trying to go with. And
IMF
yeah,
is the Impossible Mission Force, right?
yes,
That's the,
yes. Simple.
Tom Cruise was
Yeah,
meddling.
Tom Cruise was meddling a lot in the progress of Africa. But
But it was exciting to watch. I mean, on the
yeah,
big screen.
yes. That's I think the sequel after the Reckoning Part 2.
By the way, Franco, you know how Joe met Martha McDonough at
Mela,
Venice Film Festival?
Martin, it's like just
Martha
what's like a joke.
McDonough, Jane
Jane
Campion, right?
Campion and Damien Chazelle.
Oh
Damien
yeah,
Chazelle,
he met those
and
three guys.
yes,
Those three people.
and they all, Franco, they all had like a special question for Joe. Do you remember what question he said? They asked him.
Somewhat. Let me think about it a second. I think did they ask him like what is the Ad Lib podcast all about?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
They came up to Joe and asked him, what is the Ad Lib Podcast all about? So obviously, guys, the Ad Lib Podcast is all about movies, all about series, all about video games. Today, we have got 4 trailers. We've got the trailer for Gen V. We've talked about that already, so we'll go through that really quickly. Got the trailer for The Burial, The Bikeriders, and The Boy and the Heron. Then we got some news about the Toronto Awards. We've got some news about the Venice Film Festival. Some news about a very good movie coming out quite soon, The Money, which seems to be doing really well. A new Kate Winslet movie. Again, she seems to be picking up a lot of steam for the Best Actress award. And some unfortunate news. You might have heard about this. Danny Masterson, who has basically been given, I think, 30 years on rape charges. I think around 30 years. We'll get into it later on. So some positive and some negative news to talk about. But before we get into all of that, guys, as you know, we always talk about what we've been watching this past week. So, Bruce, anything special you've been watching the past couple of weeks?
What have I been watching? Well, I saw Cobweb and Sound of Freedom, and I like both. I will be getting into reviews of those later. What else have I been watching? I started watching. I have a thing called Mubi. I don't know if you guys watch Mubi.
Okay. Yeah, I know which.
I was watching some of them. The Kingdom Exodus, not the Kingdom Exodus, the Kingdom. Have you heard of this? It's
Lars von Trier's
exactly.
hospital horror series.
Yeah, it's kind of like the original. Have you ever heard of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place?
Yes.
Kind of like the original Swedish Dark Place. I love Lars von Trier. I mean, I think he's a genius, and so it was fun to go back to his kind of early days. And then I started seeing a film called Stranger by the Lake.
Oh, okay.
It's like a sort of homoerotic thriller. I think it's a thriller, but I only saw like 30 minutes, so I still have to see where it goes. But I was really kind of intrigued by that film. That's really it.
You watched the original, right? Because apparently he continued the series a couple of years ago, like not so long ago.
Yes, he kind of did the Twin Peaks kind of thing of like continuing a series. I haven't seen that yet. I'm still on the first series.
Okay,
it's very scrappy, but
I feel I remember it's scrappy, but I still remember like how I was feeling like hugged and Udo Kier. I won't spoil it for you. Udo Kier in it, and. Speaking. We were actually speaking of things I haven't watched yet. The whole Twin Peaks, both the original and the new one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I haven't watched them either.
Listen, the original one is I quite enjoyed the original series, but the new one I was like, what on earth is going on? Like I was like, I can't understand what is happening in the show right now. It's like the same problem of Inland Empire. It's too weird for me.
True.
But yeah.
Because
sorry, Franco.
Well, so continue. Franco. No. I was gonna say like for me, Inland Empire didn't do it as well. So, okay.
Anything else, Bruce? You've been watching past couple of weeks?
Last couple of weeks. Well, when I went in Fright Fest, I saw some good stuff. What did I see? I saw a very good film. Let me see if I can remember what it was called. Hold on now. I have a terrible memory of the names of movies. There was an interesting one called Isaac, which was like about this. It was kind of like a horror film about a couple who have like a kid, and it's like there's something wrong with this kid, but you don't know what it is, you know. And then I went to do you know the Prince Charles Cinema?
Mm-hmm.
The Prince Charles Cinema in London. It's like this cult movie cinema, and they had this thing which was an all-night secret movie marathon. So you pay the price of a ticket, right? One ticket, and you get to see 5 movies in a row, but you have no idea like what they are. You just go and sit, and it's like from like 11:45 till like 9 in the morning.
Oh my god! Okay.
and it's just like a bunch of like movie nerds like just huddled together drinking energy drinks, you know what I mean? And I rewatched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which this time I saw it as a fan fucking tastic. Like the first time I watched it wasn't that fan, but this time really worth it. And I saw Electric Dreams. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's an 80s movie.
Vaguely familiar of Electric Dreams, yeah.
It's an 80s movie about an AI that's now oddly prescient. But yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Wait, isn't it? Does it have to do with the more than a friend, we always be together?
Yes.
Okay,
that's the big song. That's the big song.
Okay,
it's kind of like what you're waiting to come on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
you know?
More than a friend.
Always be
together.
The microphones are breaking. Like,
is the series related to it? I'm looking at IMDb. There's also a series.
No. That's the Philip
Brian
K. Dick's
Cranston,
Electric Dreams.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
Richard
that's Philip
Madden.
K. Dick's Electric Dreams. I think that's like a Black Mirror thing.
Philip, the Electric Dreams. I think that's Do Android Dream.
Of
Do
Electric Sheep.
Sheep. Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay. Series looks really good, Astra.
Which series is it? Electric Dreams.
Electric Dreams. It's starring Bryan Cranston, Steve Buscemi, Richard Madden,
Lallo.
Timothy Spall. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
70
it's a good cast. It's
70%. Yeah.
anthology series, sci-fi anthology series.
Terrence
Visuals look
Howard.
interesting as well. Visuals.
Have
look
you
very
ever seen the
interesting.
video of Terrence Howard like talking to Oxford students? Have you seen this video?
No.
He does
Okay.
this. There's Terrence Howard at Oxford, at the Oxford Students like Union, and it's like a bunch of like really posh, bright Oxford kids, and like Terrence Howard, and he's explaining some like nuts theory of like maths or physics, and it's like really clear he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, but he has like such confidence in the way he's talking about it. It's really worth checking out.
So it's basically Jordy P speaking.
Yeah.
The neurosurgeon thing, yeah.
Anyway, that no one beats Matt Bonanno for the impression.
No way. Matt
No.
Bonanno does perfectly, like perfect tone. Everything is perfect about his impression of Jordan Peterson. Franco, what have you been watching this past week?
So I saw Cobweb. I have opinions. I mean, it's we'll get to the review, but it's a solid movie. It's a solid, decent movie. But
That's okay.
but there's some issues which are like, it really, it kind of like, especially the last few minutes, let's say it angered me a bit. Then I started Castlevania. I finished the first season. Like, first season was four episodes. First season, I wasn't sold too much on the animation. It looked kind of scrappy, but now it seems like it's improving. What I cannot complain about is the story. It's a great story written by
Story.
Warren Ellis.
Madonna spoke.
Warren Ellis is also a comic books writer, and oh my god, like the themes in it, despite it being a cartoon, it's so mature, and that it's your sympathies like move from one character to the other, and it's a very interesting story. It's like, and even seeing Dracula as this sort of medieval steampunk, I would call it. So I'm willing to continue it and see where it takes me. That's it so far. I mean, I think I should do a whole weekend of just watching movies, or maybe when I go to Vienna, like fuck Vienna, I'm going to stay in and watch movies.
No, Vienna's such a beautiful city. Have you been there before, Franco?
No, it's my first time, and I actually have to check again. I hope that LP shop is still there, the Before trilogy LP shop. What's it called?
I didn't go
What's it
there when
called?
I went to Vienna. Such a beautiful city, Madonna. One of
I'm
the
gonna
cleanest
check.
cities I've been to.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
But it means nothing to me. you know that some.
No.
You know that this means nothing to me. Oh, Vienna. Oh, there is actually. There is actually what's it called? There's actually a itinerary of where they went on the internet for Before Sunrise.
Have you ever been to Paris?
Paris, yes,
No.
I've been to Paris, but Paris I've been ages ago, but not before midnight.
There's an amazing bookshop which opens before sunset called Shakespeare and Company.
Shakespeare and Company. I've heard about it. Shakespeare and Company. Do they still do that? What's it called? Because as far as I remember, Shakespeare and Company would have a writer in residence.
They do book signings and stuff. I don't know. I don't know about writer in residence. I just went as a tourist. Like.
Okay. Oh, is it still open? Yes, it's still open. The LP place is still open.
All right.
But Vienna is a beautiful city, Astra. Like the palace is there, The Schönbrunn is stunning. The Schönbrunn is one of my
going
favorite
there.
places in the world. So beautiful.
Going
And
there.
go to the museums as well, Franco. Make sure you go to there's the art museum. There's some stunning
of
things.
And they're
course,
all in
but-
one place, the museum quarter. There's just like one square.
The museum
with, like,
quarter.
five,
Esatti.
yeah.
Esatti.
Awesome.
Even the modern art museum is beautiful. It's really like there's some
isn't it close by to the Belvedere? Because the Belvedere is where
yes.
Klimt set, right?
There are two like palaces / museums looking at each other. There's the Natural History Museum on one side, and there's the art museum. I forgot exactly what it's called, but something art museum opposite to it. And then exactly next to them, there's a whole area with other museums there.
Okay.
Like I think you pay one ticket, and you can get into all of those museums in that area.
Yep.
Basically.
Yes.
It's stunning. And then a dedicated day to the Schönbrunn. Schönbrunn is, beautiful. Just walk through the gardens. The gardens are stunning, and like the palace itself. And you know what I really liked? We did. I remember we had gone to the kitchens, and they had given us a demonstration of how to cook. I forgot what they a traditional Austrian dessert, which I can't remember right now. And it's something with apple strudel, yeah.
Apple strudel. Yeah.
They showed us how to make an apple strudel. It was brilliant. It was really good.
Christoph Waltz told you about this.
Anyways, I have to talk about my week. So like Bruce, I watched Cobweb and Sound of. By the way, Franco, you didn't get to watch Sound of Freedom, right?
Not yet.
All right.
We did a double bill.
It was tough, yes. But I didn't feel sleepy in Sound of Freedom, to be fair. We watched Cobweb first at 6:30 in the afternoon.
You did the Barbenheimer, but...
with Cobweb and Sound of
Freedom.
Cobweb of Freedom.
No, we did the double screening. Cobweb first, Sound of Freedom second. I have thoughts about both. We'll get into them in the review. I watched, because I'm preparing for A Haunting of Venice, which comes out in a few days' time. Death on the Nile, which I hadn't watched yet, which is the... Death on the Nile, which is the... Who's the director?
In the meantime, actually, Kenneth Branagh, no? Kenneth Branagh is the director.
Who's Kenneth Branagh, exactly. Also starring Kenneth Branagh, obviously, as Hercule Poirot. I mean, it's a weird one because it's shot. I don't know if it was shot in. I think it was shot in 70mm film. So, like the colors on the faces and whatnot, they're stunning. But then all the backgrounds are in CGI. So it's a weird one. It's a very weird one. I talked about it to you, Bruce, yesterday. It's like it's a mixture of very beautiful, like just the faces and the costumes and everything is shot beautifully. The colors are stunning. But then everything in the background, all like the ancient Egypt stuff, is all in CGI. So it's a weird mixture. It's like...
You mentioned it might have been because it was shooting during the pandemic, I think.
Exactly. Now, I don't want to be too harsh on it because, again, they were filming this right at like peak pandemic. So that obviously meant they probably couldn't travel. And when I looked it up, they actually filmed everything in England, basically. So... river and everything is shot in England. And to be fair, they did build an actual ship for the whole thing. So there was that part. But all the background stuff, or like anything dealing with ancient Egypt, that's all CGI. And there are some very weird moments. There's like some weird dry humping scenes. Like there's two cases of dry humping in this. Yes. Yeah, it was a weird one. Once they're
Did
done.
Gus Noé come in to guest?
I mean,
it's a very weird one.
I mean, they're in the desert. Of course, it's dry.
And camels have humps, so
exactly.
To be fair, it's what's her name, Gal Gadot doing it. So I mean. I'll give Kenneth Branagh that.
But then again,
like the Peter Ustinov version.
Then again,
any dry humping in that.
Peter Ustinov and Gal Gadot. What? Sorry. But then again, was because even Mission Impossible was done in pandemic times, so kind of what gives. And John Wick 4. I know that you are a huge fan of John Wick 4, Bruce.
Oh shit!
I don't know what happened to the world where suddenly everyone loved John Wick 4. It was the longest, most boring, like trudge through like a movie.
No, look. Your problem. I'm gonna say it again. You've seen John, because I would agree after seeing John Wick 3, John
You
Wick
watched
1.
like 9 hours of John Wick. Fuck's
It's
sake, what you-
I mean,
I admit, maybe I was wicked to the max.
Exactly.
I just had too much John in my brain for another
Exactly.
dose.
Would you do the same for Lord of the Rings though? Like 9 hours of Lord of the Rings?
I've done it before, so
I've tried.
won't go.
I've tried the extended edition. I went to a friend, and there was it was an extended edition.
That's
marathon.
12 hours almost.
I'm not
pretty
a
much,
fan of the
pretty much.
extended editions. They're too long.
No.
The extended editions are too long. They're too long. It's the theatrical is the way to go with Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry.
No, there are so
but
many important scenes missing.
They're
There are
flab.
so many important.
They're all flab. The extended scenes. Like,
A lot of it is, but there are some important scenes to be. I just bought the Blu-ray version of the extended
Yes,
edition. I'm
Okay.
waiting to find like 12 hours of a free day and just spend the whole day watching it on Blu-ray.
And he still hasn't found time to watch what? To watch
Hey,
what?
man, come on.
Rebels. I haven't watched Rebels because right now I'm watching the Clone Wars. I'm finishing the Clone Wars. Basically, I'm on season 7. I'm like episode 5 or 6. And I have the last few episodes of Clone Wars to watch. And like Franco said, I haven't watched Rebels. So now I'm going to watch Rebels, which is another animated series, Star Wars animated series. And once I'm done with Rebels and having done all my homework, I can start watching Ahsoka, because right now to watch Star Wars, you have to do a lot of homework.
By the way, guys, I actually started watching. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it just to have like something to see. I started to watch The Dancing Detective, A Deadly Tango. It's a movie. I think it's Hallmark movie, but mostly like most of it shot in Malta.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
Can I just name drop Michael Basmajan and his they actually because there was a whole controversy about it in Venice about how Adam Driver was playing an Italian character. I'm sorry, Michael Basmajan. Next time, let an American play an American. No.
Oh, so he's putting on an American accent in that.
No, I am a huge fan of Basmajan, and he's so talented, and he pulls it off. I feel that he pulls it off in this one. And
I saw
for him,
There's Bettina in it. Bettina Paris.
there's Bettina as well. There's Clara Drew. So I mean, the Malta features prominently. Listen, it's a Malta Tourism Authority film basically. It's like, oh, look at the beautiful Maltese landscape with the cranes and everything.
To conclude, guys, I've been playing Starfield. I'll talk about it later on, but let's just say instead, I wish I spent those hours playing Baldur's Gate instead. Because Baldur's Gate is an excellent game.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate, yeah, just true. And having to stop playing Baldur's Gate, I'm replaying it again for the second time. Having to stop my second playthrough of Baldur's Gate and start playing Starfield was a real shock for the system, Estia. Real shock of the system, because now I'll get into it in the review, obviously. It's not good. And I'm kind of worried that I've been seeing so many reviews which are super positive about Starfield, because no, but we'll talk about it later on. Anyways, guys, shall we get into the trailers really quickly?
And before we do that,
Yes.
what should the listeners and viewers do, Bruce?
Yes, Bruce.
Like, comment, subscribe, write a letter.
Complaining to the editor.
Find the carrier pigeon, put a little note, send it up. Right?
Yes. The carrier pigeon.
I'm not behind the times. We're still using pigeons, right? And
yes. But now it's called Twitter, right? Is it still called Twitter? Yeah.
These Gen Zs, man, they don't even use pigeons anymore. So
yeah, they use tweets, So
no, X's. Now they're called X's.
They zeet basically.
Anyways, guys, unfortunately, I can't play because you have to get used to this now. Unfortunately, I can't play the trailer because of YouTube blocking it and everything.
All
Because of
right.
YouTube, obviously blocking our videos and whatnot. So, if you can, guys, I'm sending the link. I don't know if you have it already, guys, the link or not.
I
But
saw
I'm
it.
sending
Yeah,
the
it
link.
was on the.
Oh, but you saw it anyway. So,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna go through like a quick summary of what it's all about, and then we'll discuss the trailer itself. Anyway, so blood is filling the halls, corridors, and dorm rooms in a new trailer for Prime Video's upcoming series Gen V. Arriving onto the streamer on September 29, 2023, The Boy spin-off series' latest teaser features a younger generation of powerful soups in training, some familiar faces from the flagship series, and a whole lot of puppets. Previous looks have opened up the class roster, introducing audiences to the teens away at the prestigious university. But today's trailer gives a full background to the plot of Gen V. Bruce, yesterday we watched Anthony Starr, and we actually mentioned The Boys. You haven't watched it yet, right, so far?
I've not seen any of The Boys, but people keep telling me like you'll like The Boys, like it's bang up your street. So I need to see.
You like The
Yes.
Boys,
And
Bruce?
I've seen clips of The Boys, which I really liked. Like I saw this whole thing where they recreated the Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad, which I thought was so funny.
Yes.
And then I saw the scene on the plane of Homelander, and I forget who the other one is. I think Maeve was her name.
Maeve, yeah.
And it's
Queen
like the
Maeve.
one that, yeah, and they think they're gonna save the plane, and then suddenly Homelander's like, let's just like forget it, you know. Which was like such a tense scene. It was a brilliant scene.
Oh,
But I have to find the time to watch the actual thing.
Have you watched Invincible?
No, what's that?
Because it's all like similar themes and quite also like blood soaked as well. It's,
Have you watched
but
it,
this
Franco?
time,
Invincible?
not yet.
Season 2 is coming out very soon, actually.
soon as well. But it's also up. It's also the same. Wait, is Invincible by Garth Ennis or Warren Ellis as well? I forgot.
I don't know.
Or
I don't know.
Mark Millar. Just a second. I'm gonna
I don't know. But
check.
I actually had started watching Invincible. But I don't know why I stopped, to be honest. I really need to get onto it again. Like once I'm done with the fucking Star Wars animated series. Done with all my homework. I'll get onto Invincible before season 2 comes out. That's also a prime. Is it? It's also a Prime series.
As
right?
far
Prime
as
Video series,
as far as I remember,
believe, yeah.
it's yeah.
But
No,
yeah, they
Robert-
both tackle. Yeah, Franco.
It's Robert Kirkman with voices by Stephen Yeun, Sandra Oh, and J.K. Simmons.
Very good. They both tackle, like from what I got, I watched like 2 episodes. They tackle very similar like themes.
Of
But with regard to
when a superhero is too powerful, basically, you know. So.
yeah, pretty much. In this case, they're gonna have a bit of a problem though, like the lack of Anthony Starr, because Anthony Starr is so good. He's like
Oh,
the most intimidating actor ever.
Spoiler alert. Well, anyway.
Spoiler alert. True. But yeah, I'm curious. Do you think you watch this, Franco, Gen V?
No, I said last time, I'm not completely sold. I have to continue. I have to watch, I think, season 3 of The Boys as well, and I'll see if I feel up to it. I think my viewing roster has changed dramatically. To watch the series right now, I was like, at least I started Castlevania, so it's a kind of like. It's a commitment, man. It's a commitment.
It is, because you have to dedicate like what 10 hours if it's a 10 episode series, pretty much almost 10 hours.
Yeah,
if it's a 10 episode series.
No, but actually, all things said, Castlevania is only 25 minutes each, so it's very bingeable,
yes,
very.
That's true.
And like I said, the story it's I'm more hooked for the story rather than the visuals, in all honesty. And yeah, I mean, I think people who love The Boys will love Gen V as well. So.
What I hope they don't do is I hope they don't fall into like the teenage angst, which I don't think they will, because they're very the writers of The Boys know what they're doing. Like I'm sure they won't fall into like teenage angst, teenage drama pitfall there could be, because there's going to be a lot of teenagers in this series. It's
with
basically
lots
about
of
teenagers in a school, right, in a university. So
lots of Gen Z references, like in Teenage
like
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
there's
Can
some
I ask the
scenes.
puppets? I don't understand the puppets. Like, are there puppets
I don't
in The
either.
Boys? Or
No, I don't either get the puppets. I don't get the puppets either.
What is this?
Like
Why?
there's like Sesame Street.
No,
There's like
but
Sesame
there's actually
Street puppet.
no. But whoever likes musical, it's actually Avenue Q. There's a musical called Avenue Q. That's what I am.
All right. I mean, it's and the other good thing about The Boys that I really like, it's very political. It's a very political series. It tackles like both sides in very, very harsh ways. So I love how it tackles both sides in such harsh ways. Did you know there's like lots of right wingers who really like support like The Boys, and they're like, yeah, The Boys. Show them Homelander. Show them.
They don't.
Show the fake news. Fake media.
They don't understand.
I don't think they get that they're like The Boys actually making fun of them.
Exactly.
They're being serious about it.
But remember, they want to cancel Jesus as well because too much kindness. Jesus, too much kindness.
Guys,
it's annoying when a show picks up like.
Go ahead, Bruce.
It's annoying when a film or a show like picks up a fan base, which makes it harder to like the actual film. Like Wolf of Wall Street, I think it is an
oh my god! Oh,
it
Jesus.
kind of like got hijacked by these sort of like Wall Street bros who just like totally like took it at face value, and they just kind of like became like, oh, we're Jordan Belfort, you know what I mean?
No, listen, Taxi Driver, Scarface, and Godfather. I mean, the figure of Corleone and Scarface, they are glorified, and I don't know, man. Maybe machismo, because anyway, I mean, like.
I was put off watching Scarface for a really long time because of like this whole thing of like people getting like Tony Montana like tattoos and whatever, you know, like that whole fan base kind of put me off Scarface, which was a brilliant film. When I saw it finally, I was like, "Fuck, this is an amazing."
Of course, Clive Owen, Camille Mara.
Mala, guys, moving on to the next trailer, which is a trailer for The Burial, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Jamie Foxx, who battle corporate corruption in the first trailer. Another Prime Video production has released the first trailer for The Burial, which stars a pair of Academy Award winners in Tommy Lee Jones and Jamie Foxx, who team up in order to help save a family business. Jones plays the dour Jeremiah O'Keefe, a funeral home owner who hires a smooth-talking and wisecracking lawyer in the shape of Fox's Willie E. Gary. When his family business comes under threat, as the trailer shows, there's typical fury from Jones as yet another character who looks in pain whenever something makes him happy, but even he can't resist Fox's smooth charm and charisma as the pair work together to expose the corruption that's costing him his business, while battling against the institutional racism that Fox's Gary faces in his everyday professional life. Film is based on a New Yorker article of the same name, which was written on a real case that took place in the 1990s. Guys, I don't know if you watched the trailer.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
This looks great.
It's on
Prime
Prime
be on
as well?
Prime Video. I believe it comes out. Yeah, it comes out in some theaters in America on the 6th of October and releases on Prime Video on the 13th. So I can watch it on Prime Video on the 13th. We'll review it then.
Okay.
Looks like a decent movie, guys. Good to see Jamie Foxx.
Fine.
I know he had an accident. He had some kind of accident, right? Or he was.
Yes.
Jamie Foxx. So good to see him in a movie. Bruce.
I mean, I think it looks fine. It looks very old school. It looks like a kind of a throwback to a sort of 90s kind of, legal drama. This is the kind of thing, they used to make back in the day.
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm really hating the streaming look, man. Madonna, Istra. There's no contrast whatsoever. No blacks. Can you notice that there's no contrast whatsoever? Everything is like washed out. What do you think, Bruce?
Cinematography looks fine to me. I don't see it particularly washed out.
No,
It just looks a bit maybe standard. Like
there's no
looks a bit.
shadow, man. It's like I'm watching a series, Estra. Again, maybe
It
then
looks like
again,
a TV movie. I agree that it looks like a TV movie. And I guess technically it is, since it's coming out on Amazon Prime.
yeah, but what was it? They cloned Tyrone despite its misgivings. It looked like a movie, It looked like a really well shot movie. I don't know if you watched it. If you watched them, guys. Speaking of Jamie
No, I
Foxx,
haven't watched it, Yasra.
Also Jamie Foxx star, and it looked fantastic. Great colors, great contrast. Even again, despite its misgivings, what was it called? The Adam Driver vehicle with Noah Baumbach.
The one we
Noise.
reviewed with Matt Varano. White Noise.
White Noise, yeah.
No?
Yeah, White Noise.
That was very good. I really liked White Noise, Yasra.
Yeah.
I really liked it. But guys,
that's
very important. Oh, you don't watch Succession, right? You're not going to get the joke.
because
But for those who watch Succession, just to let you know that Conor Roy was interested in politics at a very young age. You guys aren't going to get it, but anyone who watches Succession will know exactly what I'm talking about. By the way, guys, how haven't you watched Succession so far? Can I just say that?
It sits on a very long laundry list of things I need to watch, man, on TV.
Just put Succession at number 1. Just do that.
Over the boys. Over the boys.
Yes, just over the boys. Okay. I love the boys, but Succession is like next
peak
level.
TV.
Like that's
do you not feel that this looks a little bit like just Oscar bait? That's what I felt watching it. This looks like middle of the road Oscar bait to me. Like I think it'd be fine. I mean, sometimes these films are amazing. Like, I love it.
He looks. He looks good in it. I think from what, at least all I can tell is from what I've watched in the trailer. But from what I've seen from the trailer, he looks like he's really got the persona down.
Is the judge Bruce Willis? No. Is the judge Bruce Willis?
No.
I don't think so, no.
It'd be way bigger news if it was. No, that's not Bruce Willis. For sure.
No.
Wait, go back. Wait, no, almost. You're almost there. You're almost there. That actor is also nice. I really like that. No, Austria.
No.
Oh my god! Sorry, oh shit! No,
Bruce Willis with blackface.
He really went method for this role.
Yes. Like Tropic Thunder method. What's the antagonist? That actor is really good, man. I really like that actor. I forgot what's his name.
I think the antagonist is going to be the female lawyer. I forgot the name.
Bill Camp. Julie Smollett.
Yeah, she looks very good. She looks excellent. I think she's going to be very good as well in it. We'll see. Anyways, guys, moving on to the next trailer, which I completely forgot to mention to you, but then I remembered about it because coincidentally yesterday, me and Bruce again mentioned Tom Hardy and how much we like him. We think he's a very good actor. And I don't know if you watched this trailer, but it looks really good. Like I've seen also the first reactions to it. I think it's at like a 9 out of 10.
Austin Butler channeling James Dean, Austin Butler
and Jodie Comer. So
I mean, it's a fictional town in the 1960s. Sorry.
Mike Feist. He was in West Side Story. He was really good in West Side Story. He's in this.
I don't know how to say his surname. No. Anyways, guys, it's Austin Butler and Tom Hardy who will be bikers in one
Jeff
of their
Nichols. Jeff Nichols, Illahwa. I love the director. Jeff Nichols.
What did he do?
Midnight Special. Midnight Special is really good.
That was him. That was really good.
He works a lot with Michael Shannon, so no wonder he's in it as well. that he also did Mud with McConaughey. Yeah, he's underrated. If there's
Yeah.
a director that is underrated, Jeff Nichols is one of them. And I think he also did Take Shelter. If I'm not mistaken, yes, Take Shelter.
Yeah. These films are all really well acclaimed. Yeah. And
Anyways,
Austin
guys.
Butler is a genius actor, man. From Elvis,
Oh no, Nalamojo.
absolutely love Austin Butler.
Like I don't mind Austin Butler at all, but Joe has something for him.
I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent. Did we react to Reptile, or did you already react to it? What's Andrea?
No, we haven't.
Check it out, man, because that's a good. I saw the trailer and I'm up for it. Benicio del Toro looks very slick as well.
All right,
Benicio del Toro.
we'll do.
Alicia Silverstone seems that she's going into a renaissance herself as well, with Perpetrator and this one.
Okay. Anyways, from what I could tell, from what I've watched from this trailer, guys, I think Tom Hardy and Austin Butler look great, and Jodie Comer, she's a class act.
Is there a picture of Tom Hardy in this? Because I want to see if he looks like different.
He's the leader of the bike gang, basically, from what I could tell.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right.
But you see what I mean with the contrast and the color.
Like this.
So today, I say this is very cinematic.
No, you can tell this is made for theater, and the other movie is made for TV. Like even just from the lighting and everything, I mean, very clearly.
It feels like they're gonna channel what's their name. I think there might be what's the James Dean's movie.
Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah, they're channeling that kind of vibe.
It reminded me of, I don't know, guys, if you watched it, the series about the bikers. I watched a few seasons. Sons of Anarchy. I watched a few seasons of that. It was actually really good, opening few seasons. And for some reason, I stopped. Don't know why I stopped. That's what it reminded me of, to be honest. And Hardy looks grizzled and tough. So basically, Hardy and Butler, they're in this bike gang, and like the bike gang continues to expand, and they start to get into prostitution and drugs, and obviously then trouble develops. I think there's a summary here. Here we go. The trailer begins with Johnny, who is Tom Hardy, and reminiscing to Benny Butler about starting the biker club called the Vandals and how it became a family. It then shows Cathy, Jodie Comer, meeting Benny and falling in love with him. The two fall in love with each other and quickly get married, with Cathy hoping that she will be able to change him from his violent ways. However, the trailer shows Benny getting into a fight at the bar, which leads to Johnny and the Vandals burning it down. Throughout the trailer, the biker gang continues to get into more dangerous and illegal activities. The trailer also shows Johnny telling Cathy that she'll never be able to get Benny to stop being a biker. So I imagine the conflict is going to be between Jodie Comer and Tom Hardy's character, and like fighting over Benny, Austin Butler. And the drama will develop there probably. And I imagine Austin Butler's character will die at the end after not following what Cathy tells him.
Sounds like Magic Mike on bikes.
Magic bike. Magic
bikes.
But I think it looks good. In fact, earlier this week, the film debuted at the Telluride Film Festival to rave reviews. In October, it will be screened at the London Film Festival. First reactions, I'm telling you, on IMDb, I think it's at like 9 out of 10. When I looked it up, it's like very, 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 very high reviews. Even on Letterboxd, it's like 4 point something. Okay. Very, very positive first reaction so far from it. Don't know if you want to add anything, guys, to this, or we can move on to the Studio Ghibli movie, The Boy and the Heron. Trailer unveils Hayao Miyazaki's mind-bending fantasy adventure. So, across the many fields of human endeavor, there are always those with the uncanny ability to produce brilliant and excellent results, are simply unmatched. In the field of filmmaking, Hayao Miyazaki falls into that category perfectly, so it comes as no surprise that the legendary filmmaker's final feature It is his final
Final,
feature.
final with a
Right,
question mark for
inverted
sure.
commas. Big asterisk.
Because what's he doing, Bruce? Before we started recording,
He's what I call Steven Soderberghing, which is where you announce your retirement again and again and again, and you keep making on new movies. Like Soderbergh must have retired about 4 times, I think.
it's filmmaking is a drug, basically. Guys, say no to drugs. Filmmaking. The war on filmmaking now, not the war on drugs.
I mean, to be fair, with certain directors, they love making movies so much. It's like even at the age of 80, you've got legends still making movies. Like recently, Franco, I don't know if you were on the podcast that day. We talked about, like, I think it was Scorsese talking about how much he's learned throughout the years and how now he's around 80. Like he feels like he's learned so much about filmmaking. And he's really sad that he knows, I mean, he's quite old, so he doesn't have too many movies left in him.
When he quoted Akira Kurosawa about it, it's like he's done so much and yet I know so little, he said.
But he feels like now, the stuff he knows now, like he could make really brilliant movies with the stuff that he's learned. But obviously there's the whole sadness element of the fact that obviously he's old. Anyways, going back on topic. It opened at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 7th. Very positive reactions. In fact, we'll talk about that in a second. It's going to be releasing in North American cinemas on December 8, 2023. So another December movie. Obviously coming from the legendary animation studio Ghibli. Franco, you're going to add something?
No, sorry.
I thought you were going to say something.
Sorry.
Anyways, I went through the trailer. And like I told you guys, the opening scene, like this opening scene, I think it looks stunning. Looks like the animation, obviously, the animation quality. It's like it's redundant at this point to say the animation looks amazing, but I think it looks going to be super cinematic, like beautiful colors, beautiful animation, and it's after watching like Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's nice to go back to like classic animation. I don't know what you think about this, Franco.
True. Yes. It's much more. It's clearer. I mean, because that's we were saying last time with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What is it?
No. Like I'm just going through the trailer, like all the names of the movies. Like each one is like, is this my favorite animated movie? No. Is this my favorite animated movie? Is this my favorite animated movie? It's like the quality that has come out of the studio is just insane.
Which is your favorite Ghibli?
Oh, Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
It's by far, I think, my favorite Ghibli. I have to say.
I wish I liked that movie more than I did. Like for some
Really?
reason.
Because it's the hype. It was high. That's the problem.
I think I've watched it like 20 times. But I think I've watched it like 20 times. I think I
prefer Howl's Moving Castle, for instance.
Stop with the wine, bro.
As I'm going into my hot take, like I drunkenly like throw my looks. Howl's Moving Castle is
to be fair, Bruce, it's like comparing like Ronaldo and Messi. It's like, which do you prefer the most, Ronaldo or Messi? It's like you can make arguments for both. But me personally, the way Spirited Away, like just the emotions it got out of me were just like insane. It's like the kind of movie that will make me cry after watching it 20 times, and I'd still probably cry watching it again. So I have to go for Spirited Away. But obviously, like I don't think I've watched all the Studio Ghibli movies, but I think I've watched most of the popular ones, basically. And I think Spirited Away, for me personally, even just the creativity of the animation and the colors and everything is just out of this world for me. Franco, what do you think about this trailer? Sorry, Bruce.
I know, I was going to say, like, there's a Ghibli film called Only Yesterday, which is my favorite. I don't know if you saw that one.
No, I haven't watched it.
Yesterday. No. It's not Miyazaki. It's like, there was like another guy who did like a lot of movies.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find his name. And it's basically about like a woman remembering her childhood. So like, there's no fantasy in it. It's just a kind of drama.
Isn't it Miyazaki? It's a minor Miyazaki, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's Isao Takahata.
Is it about the
So
painter? Like she meets this painter. Vaguely
maybe
remember.
it's about a woman like moving into the country, and at the same time, it's like of the film is her childhood memories of like her first crush, and then like it's also
Mm.
about her now in her 30s, like going to move into the country. It's like it's a really good, simple film.
Have you
I
watched?
haven't watched this.
Have you watched Perfect Blue or Paprika?
I've seen Paprika. I love Paprika.
Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue is
Perfect
also
Blue.
great.
Who directed that, Franco? Perfect Blue.
Satoshi Kon.
No, I haven't watched this. But now I'm
Perf-
so behind when it comes to animated movies.
Sat,
Shame on me.
perfect,
No.
Perfect Blue and Paprika. Christopher Nolan and oh my god, the guy who directed Darren Aronofsky. They do like quote it.
Hmm.
There's some like shot for shot remakes, shot for shot tribute remakes, call them whatever. Um, oh,
Paprika.
yes, and as for Boy and the Heron, yeah, it looks interesting. It looks like very drawn from sort of semi autobiographical, I would say.
Yes. It is semi-autobiographical, actually. Some
So
hand-drawn stuff by Miyazaki as well in this. So yeah, great stuff, Astra. I'm very much looking forward to it. It'll be interesting to see when it
this
comes to
this was quite like
Mm.
holy shit. Okay,
Mhm.
Mm.
it might go into darker themes as well.
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to go into darker themes.
Mm.
I don't know if we talked about what it's about. Dunno. So, what is about? So, for much of the build-up of the film's release, the storyline has been shrouded in mystery. However, last week's G Kids released a pre-teaser that helped introduce the film's story. A young boy named Mahito, yearning for his mother, ventures into a world shared by the living and the dead. Teaser states their death comes to an end, and life finds a new beginning. Oh, that's so fucking vague. It's like, I have no idea what this movie's about. I think it's about in post World War II Japan, though, right? I believe
Yes.
Ima-
I
I think
read somewhere that it's post World War II Japan.
Imagine a
But
kid
I
begging his
believe
mom to go and see this movie, like, "Mom, death comes as an end, and life finds a new beginning." To
imagine
um,
this.
like this
Mom,
looks
can
this
we
looks
go and see Boy and
insane.
the Heron? I want to experience death.
Can you imagine? No,
Before we move
like
on,
no,
because I was about. Sorry,
no,
go ahead, Franco.
I'm imagining like some Maltese parents like, "Oh, yeah, tfalu da mhux kartuna u mbagħad tara t-tifel tagħha is like mental mental health emergency spikes.
His mother's face is just melting and then setting on fire, like crazy shit going on. Oh my god, what the hell is going on?
Illallah.
The
They
sun
come
will be
out like the
scarred for
kids come
life.
out with like black eyeliner and like a cure, like they just come out emo straight away.
Uh,
But I love the creativity, man, from this studio. Bruce, because I wanted to mention really quickly, because now we're going to get into the news
Oh yeah.
and we're going to get into like the animated side of things. Have you watched? The second one is Into or Across, because I always mix them up. The second Spider-Man.
No, I only
Across.
saw the first one, and I went to see it really like I saw Into the Spider-Verse. Is that the first one?
Yes, it's the
Into
first
the
one is
Spider-Verse is the
Into.
first one. Yeah, and Across the Spider-Verse
Yeah,
is the second one.
I saw the
All right.
first one, but I
Okay.
went to watch it like really drunk. Like I barely remember what
Oh
was
my god,
happening.
that's an experience and a half.
Yeah.
Don't watch
Like,
Across the Spider-Verse drunk, Bruce. Trust me,
okay.
you're gonna go nuts watching it. Like I went nuts, just stone cold sober. I can't imagine what it'd be like being drunk.
Nah, I think I fell asleep. But I'm told it's a brilliant movie.
No, it is. As is Across the Spider-Verse, mind you. Because the fight this year is going to be basically, I believe, between Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and obviously The Boy and the Heron. Although, to be fair, most critics seem to be pointing the finger at Across the Spider-Verse to be like
Really?
the
But
winner.
across the Spider-Verse, but Into the Spider-Verse won the Oscar last time, no?
It did. It did.
So
It did
wouldn't
for
they
best
go
animated.
like, yeah? So wouldn't they go like, we gave it to Spider-Man, let's give it to Miyazaki, poor guy, like last
But
film.
Miyazaki
Um,
already won it
I-
once, right? Miyazaki already won
Yeah,
it
no, I
once.
know, but this is his last
First do it.
movie. Like, this is his last thing, supposedly. I would put my
and
money
then
on
then
Boy and
then
the Heron if
when
he
they give
would.
him when they give him the Oscar at the back of the Oscar, there's like stop making movies. No, sorry.
Yes.
He actually, by the way, guys, I'm reading it here now, and they actually gave him an honorary Oscar in 2015, 2 years after he announced his retirement. So maybe they have to do it again. So now they'll give it to him
Yeah.
for Boy and Heron.
But as they're giving it to him, they're like this. Here you go. For the last one, eh? Check they got it. Last one, right? Last one. All right.
Promise.
Promise. And he's
Promise.
reaching for it. And they're like, well, last one.
Anyways, like the first reactions have been amazing. Like the first reactions to the movie have been like looking at this review. Virtually every impeccably framed composition could be a distinct work of art with painterly backgrounds, so gorgeous in their colors and textures, they invite the viewer to get lost in them, and so on and so forth. Harmonious whole and fantastical narrative tangents.
This was written by AI. I'm not joking. This was written by AI. No, the review was written by AI. I'm not joking. It's so still.
Who wrote that review?
Who wrote that review?
Studio Ghibli.
THR's David Rooney.
Oh, okay.
David Rooney, the Hollywood Reporter's David Rooney, basically.
Well, I mean, virtually every impeccably framed composition could be a distant with painterly background, so gorgeous in the colors and textures. You know, it's written by AI. I mean, guys, just say it's a gorgeous movie, like Del Toro's. Like, what did he say? Del Toro.
Waxing lyrical. No, Del Toro just went into like how Miyazaki may be the greatest director of animation ever. Like, I think I don't know what else he said, but that's just a short quote we got.
But that's it, you know. It's like it's done. It encapsulates everything that needs to be said about Hayao Miyazaki, you know.
I mean, I'm guessing he went a little bit into the SAG-AFTRA issue and how he's a big fan of Miyazaki, and I mean that seems to be pretty much it. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Across the Spider-Verse versus The Boy and the Heron. I'm very much looking forward to watching it, and I'm very excited to get my next Studio Ghibli movie. Another movie that has been doing obviously really well, we've been talking quite a bit about it, is Poor Things by Yorgos Lanthimos. Bruce, we haven't talked about this so far. What do you think about Yorgos Lanthimos' previous movies? And I don't know if you've seen the Poor Things trailer and like the hype behind it.
I saw the Poor Things trailer. Looks really good. I mean, I was very excited about this film. In fact, like right at the beginning of the year, I put it in my like top 10 most excited about films. Lanthimos, I'm hot and cold, very hot and cold on Lanthimos. I love The Favourite. Was blown away by The Favourite. I really like Dogtooth. I loved the first half of The Lobster, but then the film completely went off the rails for me, and I couldn't stand the Sacred Deer one. I just did not get the Sacred Deer like at all. But I'll go and see. Like, his films always are interesting, you know. There's something interesting. They're trying something, but yeah. This one,
Sacred Deer as well didn't much do it for me. It's like almost. I'd prefer, for example, like you said, like The Favourite. The Favourite is peak Lanthimos, and this I think he goes back to that kind of vibe, wacky.
This looks very good.
Yeah.
I think, guys, we can go through the whole list of all the winners at the Venice Film Festival, obviously, really, really quickly. So obviously, best film went to Poor Things by Yorgos Lanthimos. Unfortunately, we don't have Joe here to talk about it, but we got Grand Jury Prize, Evil Does Not Exist by Ryusuke Hamaguchi. Best Director, Matteo Garrone, Io Capitano. Special Jury Prize, Green Border, Agnieszka Holland, which I think is the migrant movie, I believe. I think there's a couple of migrant movies. I think even the Matteo Garrone movie, is it?
Io Capitano is a migrant movie for sure.
Yeah. So these two are both migrant movies. Best screenplay is El Conde. Best actress
I'm,
Kaylee Spini for Priscilla. Priscilla.
I really,
Franco.
I really look for, I really look forward for that, man. Pinochet as a vampire, awesome. And Pablo Larraín is also, I think, I haven't watched.
That's Pablo Larraín. Okay.
Yes. I haven't
I
watched. Go for it, Drew.
You're thinking of the Spencer.
Yeah, I was going to say Spencer and what's her name? The oof with the Natalie Portman movie. Jackie. I haven't seen them both so far, but
Spencer, Madonna. Spencer, I watched Spencer.
Spencer
with
was
Was the
with
Princess
Princess
Princess.
Diana
Diana.
one?
It's
Yes.
like a
Oh yeah, I
Christmas
watched.
at the palace.
Yes. That was a weird one. I like. I was so mixed watching that movie. Like, there were parts I really liked, really liked. Then there were parts I was like, so the performance was amazing, but I don't know about the direction for that.
I feel like
Film. Go ahead, Franco.
no, I was going to say that I feel like I'd prefer Jackie once I watch it because even for me, Spencer, gorgeously filmed, but then there's some moments where like, what's happening? You know, it's like even Stewart, even though like she looks like Princess Diana, some of the acting went. I don't know. Maybe it's. I don't know. Maybe she was on the verge of a breakdown, Princess Diana at that time.
I think the writing was the issue. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was the writing which was the issue. Don't know. Bruce, what do you think?
For me, that film was a knockout. Like that was one of my favorite, maybe my favorite film of that year. Spencer, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was like it was such a psychological horror. Like the way he approached it, it was like Phantom Thread meets Festin meets The Shining meets Melancholia. You know what I mean? Like it was like I thought it was really brilliant and just like really moving as well. And I thought she was brilliant, Kirsten Stewart. I don't know. Sometimes films just kind of like click. I don't know if it's in the mood you're in at the moment. You know what I mean? But sometimes you walk out of a cinema and you feel like just something about that film kind of like knocks you, you know, and knocks you out. I thought it was really good and super creepy. Like there's a scene where she sees Anne Boleyn, I think it is. Remember that she's at the dinner table and she sees like Anne Boleyn.
Yes.
Like
It was very creepy. Now you mention it. It was very creepy. Yeah, true.
It was very Phantom Thread, I thought.
Talking about Princess Diana, we've got Priscilla as well, the best actress, Kaylee Spini. Franco, you're going to say something before I move on?
No, continue, it's fine.
Best actor is Peter Sarsgaard with Memory, and best young actor, Seydou Sarr in Io Capitano. Guys, don't know if you want to talk about any of these movies. Franco,
no, that's like we should all check them out now. I mean, we have Io Capitano. We already have a small preview by Joe. Seems to have liked it. Speaking of waxing lyrical, Memory. He seems that he's really liking Memory.
Yeah.
El Conde, like I said, I'm really like because I think he's going back a bit to his earlier. Pablo Larraín is going into his earlier work because he had one called, I forgot what's it called. Tony. He's got one called Tony Manero about this a serial killer who's obsessed with Saturday Night Fever. And have you guys seen No? Of Pablo
That's
Larraín?
of
No.
Gabriel Garcia Bernal.
Yes. He's a marketing executive, who takes care of the No campaign during the referendum of whether Pinochet has to stay president or not.
Okay.
And a particular trivia about that movie is that he filmed everything with the 80s cameras. So even like everything, they didn't use like film or digital. They used the proper cameras.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, cool.
Bruce, which of these movies are you like most interested in watching?
Probably Poor Things. Poor Things, I think. I mean, it looks fantastic. Like, it's funny how Lanthimos went like Dogtooth is so stripped down, like its look. It's so naturalistic. But then, like, Poor Things is like a complete, almost like Gilliam-esque dark carnival of like a
Mm-hmm.
film. So I'm curious to see that. I have no idea what Evil Does Not Exist is about, but that sounds very intriguing. Is that a
No,
horror
I think
film or?
did Joe mention it, Franco?
No, I don't think so. I
I
don't know
don't
if he
think he
managed
did.
to.
Eh? It's let me look it up really quick. Takumi and his daughter Hana live in Mizubiki village close to Tokyo. One day, the village inhabitants become aware of a plan to build a glamping site near Takumi's house, offering city residents a comfortable escape to nature. It's a drama and music. It doesn't look like a horror movie.
It's a weird
Looks
title
more-
for a drama. Or like Evil Does Not Exist. You think of like a horror film or a slasher film.
It doesn't look like a horror movie, to be fair. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't translate well. Could it be?
Maybe.
Aqua was a sense of Shinai. Aqua. It could be.
Like,
The
no,
killer
there are
is
any reviews.
the killer, the poster of the killer looks a lot like Scorsese's. Not Scorsese.
Yeah, good. The one of what's his name, Joe Pesci, shooting the guy. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, I think we can move on then to Dumb Money. Toronto Awards analysis. Dumb Money could ride populist story to screenplay ensemble recognition. Another movie which is making the rounds right now. Early, obviously, discussion about the awards. You know how much we love the awards here at the Ad Lib Podcast. Franco.
I was gonna say like that title. What's populist about? Sticking it to the man. Genuinely, what's populist about sticking it to the man? Because that's what the movie is all about, you know.
So what is Dumb Money all about? It's a crowd-pleasing dramedy about the short squeeze of GameStop stock during the darkest days of the pandemic. Really about the brewing frustration with financial inequality in America that has defined much of the 21st century. Had its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival Friday night. Premiere at the Roy Thompson Hall marks what could be the beginning of an awards season push, which it looks like it will have. Adapted from Ben Mesrit's 2021 book, The Antisocial Network by Rebecca Angelo and Lauren Schuker-Blum, and directed by Craig Gillespie, who did I, Tonya. Film seems first and foremost a commercial play. It's a relatively low-budget film, 30 million, reportedly with a high potential upside. Like other recent dramedies about the financial system, from The Wolf of Wall Street to The Big Short, it takes complex subject matter and makes it amusing and digestible for anyone. This film is not as polished as those earlier examples and seems a longer shot to break into the top Oscar categories that they did, but its timely populist message and fast-paced, playful delivery could attract the interest of the Academy Writers' Brunch. And the Best Ensemble SAG Award nomination, cast members include Paul Dano, Shailene Woodley, Seth Rogen, Pete Davidson, Nick Offerman, what a cast, Sebastian Stan, America Ferrera, and Vincent D'Onofrio. America Ferrera right now. Jesus, everything she's in is like hit after hit after hit. And Vincent D'Onofrio as well. Oh man, what a cast.
I think the populist. I think you know, what is you keep using that word. I don't think you know what it means. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Scott Feinberg.
Scott Feinberg. Is he our new Peter Bradshaw? That's our clickbait title.
Bruce, I don't know if you watched the trailer of Dumb Money.
I saw
had
this,
reacted
yes,
to it
yes.
a while
It
ago.
looks good. It looks good. It looks exciting. I mean, I was following this whole thing. I mean, loosely following this whole thing when it was happening. Like like this guy playing like Roaring Kitty. I mean, I remember this whole hype of like investing in GameStop, and I remember following at this time the Reddit threads, and there was almost like a cult mentality around this guy. There was like this cultish fever of everyone just wanting to say fuck the rich hedge fund managers, just fuck everything. It was like the Joker of like, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message. People were just buying stocks just to put the middle finger up. It was almost like nihilistic.
But the thing is what was happening. Why they were buying the stock is the hedge fund managers were trying to short it, basically short GameStop, which is like
I understand. I mean, there were a lot of people who are thinking this was going to make them super rich, you know.
Yeah.
But like
it is a gamble. It is at the end of the day it's a gamble. Like, you know, cryptocurrency. The risk in the cryptocurrency market is through the roof, Palista, because it's totally unregulated. But with this one, still a gamble. But you see how like the idea is like how value is produced. You know. What were you gonna say though? Sorry to.
Uh, no. Basically, that's it. Like it seems there was just this. There was a mix of people who genuinely thought that like investing like loads of money. There are people doing like putting all their life savings into GameStop. It was like they just YOLO'd all their money into one stock, you know. And then there was just a bunch of people who were like, we don't care if it makes us rich. We just want to fuck things up. We just want to mess with these like bankers and Wall Street.
Eat
bankers.
the rich, eat the
Yeah, it
fucking
was a real
rich.
sense of eat the rich going on at that time. Was that at the pandemic? Was that pandemic time or was that pre-pandemic?
Yeah,
It's not pandemic time.
I think
It was
it's quite
2021 or 2020. I don't know. Those years are just like one big
whole.
hole in my memory.
I think we can
It
do
was
like
2020 or 2021.
I'm checking right now. So GameStop.
I mean, the book came out in 2021.
The book came up in 2020, and the thing happened in just a second. 2021. Yeah. It's-
2021, all right. Okay. I went a movie 2 years after Madonna. So they must have been really like the moment this thing happened was like, let's make a movie about it. Boom. Because production for this shit takes a long time, like takes years. So like the second this happened, the producers must have already been like, yeah, this will make a great movie. Boom. Paul Dano. Get him.
Yeah.
He's doing
I remember
great.
when United 93 came out in 2006.
Lallo.
There was like such a controversy of like, how are you making a movie of this like so soon? You know what I mean? But
Wait, sorry, I'm gonna raise you. Have you've seen the trailer of what's its name with the one with John David Washington and the AI movie,
yeah, creator.
We watched it yesterday, coincidentally. Really?
the creator. You know that the explosion is actually the Lebanese firework explosion.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot to mention that yesterday, Bruce. That explosion you see in the trailer, that's actually taken from a real video, from a real explosion. Franco knows the details.
Yeah.
If you remember, there was. Sorry.
Kind of like a bit insensitive, no, to take like a real explosion and put it into.
And I said the first thing I said is like, wow, this looks realistic.
Man, that CGI is amazing.
And basically, it was ripped off from a real footage from the fireworks warehouse explosion that happened in Lebanon.
Yeah, crazy.
Credits to Corridor Digital and Corridor Group.
Yeah, crazy. Anyways, Franco, I don't know if you want to add anything about this, or we can move on.
No, looking forward to see it as well. Like if it's like The Big Short and
it comes out on when did we say it comes out, Franco? Widely on September 29th.
September.
Yeah,
so
any mention of it releasing in Malta?
No, maybe we have to petition it as well.
I hope it's more margin call than it is Big Short, because Big Short I wasn't the biggest fan.
Oh no, I love The Big Short. I love The Big Short. Love The Big Short.
It was too gimmicky for me, and then Vice especially was way too gimmicky for me. It was like the story is interesting enough. You don't need to put Margot Robbie in a bathtub to get my interest. Like, just tell the story. Don't try and throw in all these gimmicky bits and pieces.
So what did you think of
those two movies? I love those two movies.
So what did you think of Don't Look Up then?
I liked Don't Look Up. But Don't Look Up was more like just a comedy almost. It was like he was kind of like marrying the Anchorman days and Step Brothers days with the more political side. But Vice and Big Short just had this kind of like
Vice was so good, Bruce. Vice was so
Vice
good.
Vice I think is bad. I think Big Short is interesting, but like tries my patience a little bit. Vice I really did like.
All right.
It's like
Big Short,
the
I
story
love,
is
love,
interesting.
love
I
as well.
don't need to have him going into a Shakespearean monologue, and I don't need to have the weighted, and I don't like. Man, it was like, oh, just tell me
Well, I
the
love
story of
so
the vice
much in that
president. Like,
movie.
I don't
Yeah,
need all these gimmicks. Like,
could it be? But you didn't find it funny, Bruce? Because I found it hilarious. I was laughing my ass off throughout the whole movie. Like, I think
no,
that's why I really enjoyed it.
I found it felt like the director was worried that no one, like people would get bored. So he was just like, we have to throw in something. What could happen next? Let's just throw in like stuff. Let's put in something. It's like he didn't have, it felt like he didn't have the confidence in the like appeal of just the story on its own, you know?
Fair enough.
He broke the fourth wall so much that
Madonna broke the fourth wall. Savage.
And then there was a bit where it's like fake ends, like, and it's like he lived the happy life. Like, oh god, like I just was imagining like Adam McKay sitting behind the editing in the editing suite, just like with a really smug smile on his face, thinking like, this is so clever.
This is gonna win me an Oscar.
This is, but I'm in the minority there. Maybe I was in a grumpy
agree to
mood when I
disagree
watched
on
it.
that. Because I love The Big Short. Yes, yeah, The Big Short. And Vice as well, Ostia. No, I like both of them. I really like both of them. Anyways,
Step Brothers, neither are as good as Step Brothers. That is his peak. That is the peak.
I haven't watched The Brothers. Huh?
You haven't seen Step Brothers? Step Brothers, man. Forget like all this Oscar stuff. Step Brothers.
Listen. No hard feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. It was such an enjoyable watch. I mean, obviously, it's not Oscar worth like this whole Oscar stuff, but oh my god, I'm such a how shall I say? It was such a enjoyable movie and funny with heart as well. I highly recommend it. Like Joe was right.
I really liked it.
Okay.
I haven't watched it. No hard feelings. I haven't watched it yet.
It's so funny.
But I saw like a bit of controversy today on Twitter, coincidentally, about a particular scene.
Wait, controversy? Twitter? Huh?
Shocking.
Really? Shocking.
Is like completely naked in one scene.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a full frontal. Jennifer Lawrence
it's
full
actually
frontal.
her, not like a body double.
Yeah, I was laughing. It was such a funny scene, that one.
I saw a controversy about that particular scene, like the fact that he was like full frontal naked, like full.
And what was the controversy?
No, I don't know. I didn't fall into the rabbit hole of the whole controversy, but I saw some people.
Look, if she agreed to do it, she means she was comfortable doing it. Jesus Christ, man! Sorry, Twitter.
No, just fanning the flames here. Just fanning the flames. I like Franco's reactions to this stuff.
It is like it does. Like that scene does jump out at you because it's kind of like a normal sort of studio comedy, and then there's one scene of just like real nudity, and you very rarely see like full body frontal nudity. You know what I mean? Especially in like,
the trailer
like a studio
steamy.
comedy kind of thing that looked like it was appealing to teens. You know, but I like that scene a lot. And it was a really good scene, but it does jump out at you. Like I would have expected there to be controversy.
No, I'd feel like, again, but if they agreed to do it, it's like the controversy just dies down. Like with the fact that when we commented about that scene with Florence Pugh during in Oppenheimer. It was like filmmaking wise, it was superfluous. But if she said I'm fine doing this, there's no point. There's no point me saying because Florence Pugh was naked in that scene. If she agreed with it, fuck it. My opinion is pointless.
Guys, talking about beautiful, talented actresses. Kate Winslet is starring in what looks like to be like a really good movie. I had never heard about this so far. I don't know if any trailer came out for this, actually. I'm going to look it up now. But in the meantime, we've got Kate Winslet's Lee, which is basically like a war movie.
Is it about Robert E. Lee, the photographer? Wait.
It's about when an elder Lee Miller, played by Kate Winslet, sits down with a young journalist, tell the story about her role during World War II in the war drama Lee. memorable line sets up the filmmaker's
Yeah.
ultimate goal: tell the world about one of its most unsung heroes. Along with a Saving Private Ryan-esque opening battle sequence, Lee presents itself as a glossy character study, looking for a home out of the acquisition market after premiering at the Roy Thompson Hall Theatre at TIFF on Saturday night, an affecting drama that puts the viewer right into the war zone. It's led by another committed turn by Academy Award winner Winslet, who is one of my
Okay.
all-time favorite actresses. Looks like another great biopic. I haven't seen much of this. I'm quickly going to go through, see if there's any trailers for this. I believe there aren't any trailers for it. But from the first reactions that I've read about it, this looks really good, like really, really, really good. There's a teaser trailer for this, which I'll play it really quickly.
Sorry, listeners. You're gonna have to listen to us being like, that's so good. In the meantime, do subscribe. Do tell us what any news that we have missed, some trailers that we have missed, and also make sure that you try your hand at Bruce's video nasties.
Yes.
He'll make sure that corruption will win. You know.
And submit by 13th
What?
of October. That's
Yes,
the
that's
deadline.
another
13th October.
This is a fan made movie, I think. So.
What the fuck? No, this isn't the trailer for Lee.
This was like the Napoleon teaser. It's like, no, that's stitched together basically.
No. So no trailers for Lee so far. I mean, to be fair, again, not much to say here, but again, this looks like another great movie in a year where we've got, I think, a lot of great movies. Bruce, we were talking about this yesterday. Like last year, a lot of people said like there were a bunch of great movies which came out, like lots of great movies, and we were like, really?
We were
Really?
debating over like whether it was that good of a year for the Best Picture nominees. I mean, I think it was a little bit of a weak year. I wasn't a fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once. The hot second favorite, I think, was Fabelmans, which I like a lot, but maybe it was the weight of expectation I didn't love as much as I wanted to. What was the one? I think Banshees would have been
Banshees.
my favorite.
Banshees. There was Top Gun, Avatar, a bunch of other movies. But I think this year, overall, the quality we got this year is higher than last year. In my opinion, let's put it that way.
We're still early days, though, for us.
And it's still early days. Like the big award movies come out in October, November, later.
Listen, hot take: the Oscars are like Eurovision. Just for one year, if it doesn't happen, it's not gonna be the end of the world.
True. Oscars might not even happen, to be fair. So
they might not happen. How come?
Because of the SAG-AFTRA.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about then, Franco Madonna? No.
We do our own movie. We do our own movie. We do our own Oscars.
No, we'll do our own Oscars, definitely. We did that last year. We'll do it this year again.
To Golden Bee coverage.
Exactly.
But we'll do like a real high production kind of. We'll have a whole set and everything, and call like Kate Winslet for when she wins Best Actress for Lee, and
for sure, the Razzie Awards will all go to the producers, or to the AMPTP. Yeah. That's I'm calling it. The Razzies will go to the production companies that didn't agree with the with the with the conditions.
I think you're going to see
guys.
Maestro going like Maestro. I think
oh man,
yes.
A shit ton of nominees.
Beautiful.
Speaking of Maestro, something like adjacent to Maestro, Tar. What did you think of Tar?
Oh, we discussed it yesterday.
I found Tar very boring, to be honest. I really found it boring, and I love Todd Field. Like I really like In the Bedroom. I love Little Children. So I went into, and obviously everyone was going on about how amazing Tar was, but I found Tar just far too slow, really slow, and it was just not like enough narrative to justify the 3 hours or whatever it was that it was. I think I thought it
Really?
was way too long for what the plot was. What did you guys think?
No, I love
No, I,
Tar.
I
We both
I
love
love it.
Tar. Like we
I-
spent the whole episode, I think, talking about Tar. Remember, Franco, when we
Uh,
reviewed it. Love it.
and Andrea grew to love it because I told him to watch it again because
Okay.
for me I think you would be right in saying it's slow because the first couple like not the first couple I think it was the first 20 minutes I think with the whole interview
Mhm.
stuff it's like where's this going, but then I
Yeah.
stayed with it, and it's the way it's so it's a very fluid movie. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said at the beginning, your sympathies sway back and forth. Lots of vagueness. I really like that kind of ambiguity
Mm.
around the whole stuff, and it's Kate Blanchett in it is great. Even
No, she
for
is
the if,
great. I'm not
Auntie
denying
Kate.
that, but there's only so much like a great performance can take my interest if I feel like the plot isn't kicking in. You know?
But the cinematography, the performance, and the
Yeah.
plot wasn't bad.
the
Like
the themes
themes were
were
incredible.
very good.
The way it tackled cancel culture and like the way
Yeah.
the story with her secretary developed, and that
It would
was
have made
brilliant.
an amazing short movie or like 90-minute kind of like, but three
Uh huh.
hours was way too long for what it was. I thought, and I thought like the whole opening, I'm sorry, I got bored in the whole opening because I was like, I'm listening to like a 30-minute like real time interview about like a composer. It's not even real. Like, just get on with it,
You know,
man.
that
Like,
interview was one of my favorite moments in the movie. I was like gelled to the screen. I was telling her, I said, "Hey,
no.
Bruce, like I was watching it, and my girlfriend was next to me, and like, this is so good. Oh my god, this is so good. This is so
So
good. This is
you're
so
like
So
good."
great. You're like on the edge
so
of your seat, like as she's answering like what concert she orchestrated in Berlin.
how
Like
Like,
the
how
performance.
like
would you,
I
Bruce? How would
orchestrated
you?
the concert in Berlin, and we did a run of Tchaikovsky. Holy shit!
No,
I was really impressed.
no, but I think I would be on Andrea's side because it shows this kind of snobbish elitist kind of
Mm,
this whole classic world. I mean, nothing bad about the works in itself, but this kind of like her feeling herself about like the character Tar,
mm,
which at the end makes reference to how much that she was building a character out of all nothing, you would say.
mhm.
But my question would be, how would you have tackled Tar
How
as
would
a
I, as a
director?
director, I
Hmm.
would have shrunk the script down a lot, I think. And
But like, what did you find superfluous in the movie?
I just found the pacing really, really slow. There are a lot of scenes that just go on for ages and they seem to go nowhere. I mean, a lot of it I forgot, to be honest. I mean, it
I
really
think
didn't
Bruce, would you
stick with
just
me.
focus on the secretary like plot and just showcase that, and that's it?
Um, yeah,
You know, her
I think it
finding
has
the
an interesting thing
email.
to say. I mean, I think it has an interesting thing to say about cancel culture. I think that's a very important film to make, at this time, at this point in society. But like, it was like occasionally there'd be like a kernel of a plot. And you'd be like, oh, what,
Mm.
something happening. And then it's just like nothing will happen again. And then something, maybe, is something happening? Like, so I would just like condense it down and just keep it faster paced,
It
really.
I think it feels like the ambiguity didn't work well because what part of the reason I really liked it is the ambiguity of it all.
Hmm. I like there
Because
are some ambiguous movies that I really like Cashier of Michael Haneke. I think is a masterpiece.
la la so good.
I think that's a very ambiguous movie, but that kept me hooked for some reason. I don't know. It kept me on the edge of my seat. This
You saw
one,
it, Andrea?
No, I haven't. Haven't.
Highly recommended.
Mhm.
yeah.
What's it called?
But like I
Cachet?
didn't like my brother because my brother George is like he's even bigger like film person than me. Like he's an even bigger film buff, and he's like a lot more into sort of intellectual movies than I
Hmm.
am. He really loved Tar. Like I think it was his favorite film of the year. And then I told him afterwards, I was like, George, like I could not get through that. Like the film, I found it so boring. And he was like, but did you notice the ghosts? Did you notice the ghosts?
Oh, the ghost.
And then he
Remember
said, "Be like,
messaging me, Franco, after?
Yep.
And he
Yep.
sent me like a screenshot of like Kate Winslet, like there's a woman in the background. I was like, okay, but like that does not justify the 3 hours. Like just for one ghost, I'm not gonna like see it again.
No, 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 no. It's not just one ghost. There's if some of them like you don't even notice. But because I felt there was that kind, I like guys, something is happening. There's a certain kind of dread behind it.
Shall we
But
move on, guys? Because we got
yes.
stuck on tar. Completely off topic.
got
Because
Sorry,
Sam
Kate.
did the
Kate,
reviews.
We were supposed to be focusing on the other Kate Winslet.
Yeah. Just going to mention this really quickly, guys. Don't really need to discuss it, but Danny Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life. You might have read the whole rape conviction. He starred in That 70s Show and in Netflix's The Ranch. Potential sentence of 30 years to life in prison for rape. He was convicted for rape earlier this year. Actor who maintains his innocence was convicted on 2 of 3 forcible rape charges this past May. Masterson was accused of raping 3 women at his Hollywood Hills home between 2001 and 2003, which was during the time he was on That 70s Show. Jury convicted him of raping 2 women in 2003, but could not reach a verdict on an allegation from November 2001 involving a former girlfriend, though the jurors voted in favor of conviction. I don't know, Bruce, if you want to go into this, and Franco. I mean, just wanted to mention it again. I'm important to mention this kind of stuff. It also goes into the Church of Scientology and how the Church of Scientology defended him. And the first time the cases went, obviously there had to be a retrial and everything. But yeah, it goes into Scientology, and right now there's like lots of people saying, listen, the Church of Scientology needs to be investigated into how they got involved in the case and everything.
I read this article because this is one angle I didn't know. No, I mean, actually, again, speaking of another podcast I've been listening to. Sorry, Andrea, I'm two timing you with Behind the Busters. they do mention like the birth of Scientology with L. Ron Hubbard, because basically the guy Battlefield Earth. That was actually a book by L. Ron Hubbard.
And he famously said, if you want to get rich quick, start a religion. Like, that's a quote from Elron, like, or
yes,
paraphrasing.
And it was started as a bet, as far as I remember. Scientology was started as a bet.
Yeah.
But he like Behind the Busters by Robert Evans and another friend of the show, recommendation, Matt Bonanno. He mentions how cunning Aaron Hubbard was with all this whole Scientology thing.
I mean, look at this, guys. Unable to violently assault and rape women with the help of Scientology, multi-billion-dollar criminal organization with tax-exempt status. The 3 Jane Does said, both at the sentencing and in testimony, that the church dissuaded them from reporting Masterson to the police. Prosecutors argued throughout the trial that Masterson had taken advantage of his position in the church to rape women without fear of repercussion, and that the church forbid women from going to the police to report sexual assault. Jane Doe 2 told the judge on Thursday that she had been a brainwashed member of Scientology at the time of her assault and alleged that the church had made concerted efforts to cover up Masterson's behavior. Since coming forward with her allegations, she claimed she has had my privacy invaded almost daily by the cult of Scientology. And it goes on and on with Scientology, again, the whole cult, like stopping them, trying to stop them, and like there will be consequences for going to the police and whatnot. So yeah, this shit is serious stuff.
I mean, there's some good documentaries. I'm looking at them right now. There's Going Clear. It's amazing by Alex Gibney. Alex Gibney is quite
fantastic.
And there's also Louis Theroux, My Scientology Movie as well.
That was disappointing, man. Louis Theroux is My Scientology Movie. Like, I love Louis Theroux, but that one was a misstep, I felt.
I would say, but I think I would agree with you. The Alex Gibney is much more weighty. It gives it's a very it's an expose, and that's j'accuse of especially like Dave. I mean, you think Rob, what's this guy? Danny Masterson is nothing. The main villain is David Miscavige. That guy is like a demon, you know. Anyway,
Have you
go
ever
on,
looked at the
Claire.
list of the members, guys? I just looked them up now, like the famous members. Obviously, of course, there's Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes, John Travolta,
Katie
Larry
Holmes
Oh,
up
Smith,
anymore,
Danny
no, no.
Masterson,
Yes,
Elizabeth
it's a
Moss,
cult. No,
Beck,
it's a cult, man.
Jenna
Beck
Elfman.
is a member.
Mala.
Giovanni Ribisi, I know is a Scientologist.
There's a lot of like famous Hollywood stars in it, Ostia.
Yep.
Anyways, moving on. Guys, shall we get to the reviews now? So we can get into the 3 reviews we have for you today, guys. Today we have, first I'll give you the review for Starfield. It's going to be more of a rant than a review, but anyways. Then we can review Cobweb, and we can review, obviously, Sound of Freedom. So I can start off with Starfield. I've got gameplay from Starfield to share. Whilst I talk
is it
about
your
no,
gameplay?
No, not my gameplay. No, not my gameplay. The gameplay reveal, basically. Oh, what a fucking liar! Fucking liar! Lied about. Oh god. I'll get into it. So, guys, Starfield. Bruce, don't know if you heard of the game. You're aware of what it's about and anything. Anyway, Starfield. It's produced by Bethesda Game Studios, who obviously made Skyrim, made Morrowind, Oblivion, Fallout 4, and Fallout 3, and so many very, very popular games. Basically made some of my all-time favorite games. So getting into Starfield, I was really, really excited that this was going to be like, I think, their first new like intellectual property in years. Obviously, the possibility of exploring space for me was fucking exciting because I love sci-fi. And the possibility of traveling to different worlds, like they had advertised, like they had 1,000 planets to travel to, and moons, and like space stations and whatnot. And then you can go there, and like you can see in the gameplay, you can scan the world. And looking at this video, like the graphics are stunning. But I wrote down this quote, which stuck to my head as I played this game. And this quote was, "As wide as an ocean and as deep as a puddle." Because yes, like Starfield gives you 1,000 planets to visit. But in reality, pretty much minus like two or three of the like major planets, everything is procedurally generated. What this means is, like, you go to one planet and see certain style of rocks and vegetation and so on. 2 hours later, you go to another planet and you see the exact same kind of rocks and vegetation, the exact same caves and so on. So I don't know why they felt the need to make like 1,000 planets. I don't know why they just didn't focus on one, like, number of maybe 10 planets and focused on putting in lots of handmade, beautiful details on each one of those planets and just forgot the 1,000 planets. I feel like they were overly ambitious with this game. Anyways, let's get into details. So, Franco, we had mentioned when we talked about Starfield how it's going to be Skyrim in space, right? I actually found quotes by Todd Howard of him saying it's like Skyrim in space, like in like 3 different interviews, because I looked it up.
No, he said it's not Skyrim.
No. He said it's like Skyrim in space because I looked it up.
Okay.
He said it in a number of interviews. It's like Skyrim in space, and I think they took that quote a little too literally. Because as much as I love Skyrim, as I love Skyrim, I played Skyrim for hundreds of hours. Like, I've replayed the shit out of that game. But I mean, Skyrim came out back when I was in my first year at university in 2011. Like, games have developed since 2011. Unfortunately. It feels like the engine which Bethesda use has not advanced at all, minus the graphical improvements. Let's put it that way. This is one of the good aspects of this game. I like the lockpicking. The lockpicking is interesting. So this is one of the positive elements of the game. Other positives of this game, I would say, are character creation. Character creation is quite detailed, not as detailed as Baldur's Gate 3, but still very good. What else can I say positive about this game? Visually, the game is beautiful to look at. It's a visually stunning game. The main cities, especially, are really good, beautiful to look at. I don't know if there are any main cities showcased in this video. No, I don't think so. Anyways, the main cities are stunning to look at, really beautifully. However, like, there are some cities where there's very low gravity in them. So, and there, 1 second, where's my camera? What's going on with my camera? Yeah. In one particular city, it's a low gravity like city, but the architecture design is similar to what we have on Earth. So like, you jump, and obviously since it's low gravity, you like jump very high. You bump your head every time you jump. And I'm like, if I was designing the architecture for a low gravity city, I'd keep this in mind. I wouldn't put like very low ceilings, or like if you jump or if you move up, you like bump your head. So like, there's stupid stuff like this where I feel like they were a bit lazy. But anyways, negatives. First thing you can see here, the combat. You can tell this combat looks like shit, and it's shit. Like, it's really bad. Like, I'm not expecting Call of Duty out of this game, but the combat is so floaty, and it lacks impact, any kind of impact at all. It's I can't emphasize how bad it is. But you know, we get into a Bethesda game not for the combat, right? We get into it for the beautiful narrative, fascinating characters. There's none of that here. The narrative is go out into the world, find the fucking whatever they're called. I forgot what they're called, but you need to go for these like items. So it's basically like traveling around the world looking for these fucking items, and when you get them, now you can whatever time travel and fucking what. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. The narrative and the main quest basically is an absolute mess. Characters are bland and completely and totally. I have no idea of. I cannot remember any of the main characters because they are so bland. What else is there to say? Also,
Fucking pronouns.
the fucking pronouns. Have you seen it, Bruce? Have you seen the fucking pronouns video?
No, what's that?
Because at the opening of Starfield in the character creation, you get like, instead of male, female, or other, you get like
I think
pronouns.
we were talking about this on your last episode, no?
Yes.
Okay.
And there was this I forgot what his name is, but there was this streamer, and he got like really pissed off that he had to choose pronouns at the character creation, and he spent like a 15-minute rant on like pronouns and how game developers are trying to fucking put in current day boring California bullshit. Oh, it was amazing.
And it was not the problem. I mean, like, it's like you're saying, the
least
gameplay
of problems. Like, everything else is the problem. The pronouns. I mean, the character creation is good in this game. That's one of the few positives that I had to mention about this game. Anyways, what else do I have to say? Yes, the traveling. You would think that in this kind of game, you could travel anywhere you want with your spaceship, right? And you can take off with your space. That I imagine that would you would think, right? With a game like this, you can't, because taking off from a world is a cutscene. You press X, take off. You see a cutscene of your ship taking off, and then you end up in space. You would think you can also travel in space, like you're controlling the spaceship from one planet to another. No, you can't. You would imagine that you would travel to a planet and you can go all around the planet. No, you cannot. Because if you walk in the same direction for like an hour or two, boom, you hit an invisible wall. That's why I said at the start that this game is like, it gives you the impression that it's massive and wide, and you have. But in fact, from all the games that I've played from Bethesda, Fallout 3, 4, Morrowind, Skyrim, this is the game where I felt the least free, which is shocking considering like what. And again,
even the character design doesn't look.
no,
it's
the
true.
character
The
design are shocking. No,
Is
the
this
cities, to be
online
fair,
or
are
is this
stunning.
like? Is this an
No, it's
online
single player,
game
single
or
player. It's a single player game, single player game.
It's true. Like for 2023, I feel like the characters' faces are a
The
little
engine.
bit.
Oh, the faces. You know what the faces do? You walk past one person and they're like, I don't know why. I don't know why. Every character's eyes are like popping out like everyone's on crack cocaine. Like literally everyone. And everyone's like,
I think it's the lack of gravity. It's the lack of gravity, most probably.
and it's really creepy because they just stare at you. Like they stare at you as you walk past them and everyone's staring at you. Another thing, you can point a gun at people and there's no reaction. You can shoot a gun at like the governor of a town. No reaction, nothing. Like everyone's like, yeah, sure, shoot. So this simple. So you can throw a grenade in the middle of a city and no reaction, nothing. Unless you hit someone. Or if you hit someone, then everyone freaks the fuck out. It's so much. It's immersion breaking. It's so immersion breaking, this game. And the biggest thing, you know what the biggest thing that pisses me off? Every time you open a fucking door, loading screen. Get into an elevator, loading screen. Go from one level to another, loading screen. Travel from one part of the city to another, loading screen. Everything with a fucking loading screen in a game which is supposed to give you like the freedom to travel around space. Oh, combat, bullet spongy, inventory management, horrific. In a couple of days, the modders for Starfield have created an amazing UI. But why should I have to download like mods to have a decent UI and like inventory management and so on? I look at the names of items and I'm like, what the fuck is this item? There isn't a picture, there isn't a mention of the value or like the weight or anything, just the name of the item. And now modders like completely solve that problem. But I mean, the game developers should solve that problem, not the modders.
I think they're doing a cost cutting. They're doing a cost cutting measure.
This cost them over 200 million. That is game, Franco. This is over 200 million.
But who's getting those millions? One thing, if the modders are I saw this video about the like how scummy Bethesda are. There was this mod. I think back in the. Was it Morrowind? I think it was Morrowind. There was this mod where basically, obviously, being the teenager that you want to see boobies. But the thing is, what they did, the modders, is they found out that the skin, they already had the skin, like the female characters already had the skin. So what they had to do is just peel off the cloth. So most probably what they're doing is there is the code for it inside the game, and the modders are just like peeling out again so that you could see, like you were saying, you could see all the details and whatnot. Obviously, that again, you have to see this YouTube video about Illala, man, the characters, yeah, how bad was, yeah. And I remember
like,
when I showed you
the city is beautiful. The city is beautiful. Like in game in very high settings. This city is beautiful. But I mean, this.
Yeah, what was it? Shinwa's Revenge.
Shenwa. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Though it's beautiful.
I mean, you saw the footage, Bruce, of Shinwa's Revenge.
No. I'm pretty out of the whole game world. I don't really know what's going on.
But like if you want to see night and day, show him the teaser of Shinwa's Revenge.
And Baldur's Gate,
Adra.
like dialogue in Baldur's Gate. Let me show you dialogue. Baldur's Gate dialogue. Like not just the graphics though. Like not just the graphics, but like looking at the facial reactions and the different opportunities that the dialogue offers you in this game. It's stunning. It's stunning. Like night and day.
Yeah.
like the different options it offers you. Even it's night and day. The voice acting in Baldur's Gate 3 is out of this world, compared to Starfield. What was that game, Franco?
Shinwa,
Senwa's
Senwa's Revenge.
this
Senwa's
one,
Revenge. That's right.
this one, right? I
I
think
think so. Yeah, yeah. Think so. Yeah.
this one, like yeah, this is the one. Like looking at the facial animations for this, it's
Even this
incredible.
one.
Oh, this is a trailer.
I think it's using gameplay though.
Yeah, the gameplay because even the first one, the first Hellblade is just. I mean, look at the face. You know.
Oh, this is the
There's the
gameplay. This is the
gameplay.
gameplay reveal. Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Oh
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, big difference.
Night and day. Oh, anka look at the
Madonna, look
texture
at
of it
the
all.
texture.
It's
Look,
amazing.
stunning, stunning stuff.
Yeah,
So I think
incredible
the
how
issue is the engine, the engine as well. Sorry, Bruce.
it's incredible how games, man, in the space of like 30 years or whatever, have just come to this
Ah, but
point.
look at that. Look at this fucking clot. Jesus, man, it's like. And these are, but the thing is, I think the whole issue is the engine, Asta. The Bethesda engine is
But not only
so
engines.
old. They're still using the same engine from what 20 years ago, Madon, or 10, 15 years ago.
So they're pulling an Adobe, Mela.
Ole. Anyways, to conclude, guys, so we can get into the movies. So Bruce, because I don't know if you know, I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 before this, and Baldur's Gate 3 for me is one of my all-time favorite games. Like it is out of this world how good that is as an RPG. But Franco, like we've discussed, I know it's very harsh on because Bethesda, obviously, they're a small indie company compared to Larian Studios. Bethesda,
Really, really.
I'm joking. Bethesda
Uh,
have over like are a
uh, okay,
massive company.
okay.
Obviously, I'm being super sarcastic here. Like, obviously, I should expect Baldur's Gate 3 quality. I should expect like dialogue which feels real. I should expect characters which are new and interesting to talk to and to talk about, and characters who I will remember for years because they're so memorable. Like gameplay events which are dynamic, the combat which feels so punchy. Like here is just boom, 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 and shoot. And the other guy is not even reacting to my gunshots. It's like boom, boom, boom. Everyone's bullet spongy. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Anyways,
What
racing.
what is the peak like game that is the most escapist that you can just get lost and wander around? What would you say is the
I mean,
pinnacle of that?
Skyrim is very escapist. Skyrim is super escapist. Skyrim is super. I'd say
But
Skyrim
you
is
mean
super
wait?
escapist.
You mean recently, Bruce?
I mean, in all time, like the
Like
game that is the
WoW,
most
Vanilla
like
WoW,
worlds. Just you can just walk around the world and just like explore.
Vanilla
You know,
WoW, I'd
like
say, is also very like you can explore everywhere. Like the classic WoW from 2004, like the Vanilla WoW, that was like wow, you see the world and you're like explore it. That's another thing about this game. Like you can fast travel everywhere. So the game, literally, any difficult situation you end up in, just fast travel out of it, and then you're done. Like
Wasn't this the problem with No Man's Land as well? There was No Man's Sky,
No
No Man's
Man,
Sky,
No
right?
Man's Sky improved a lot visually. Like the worlds are all different. Like even that, why don't they include some like fascinating alien creatures and so on? Like everything's so dull and boring, and a lack of creativity. It's shocking. It's shocking. Another game, Bruce, Elden Ring, which I would say is another great game. You can like lose yourself in.
Lalo.
Elden Ring is another like great game you can lose yourself in. That's a stunning game. Like
Like even if I
this is
don't play it, the
freedom.
character design, Madonna, is just
Like this is true freedom. This is true freedom. You can go everywhere. You can't fast travel until you've been to a place. You can tackle a situation in 1,000 different ways. The combat is so like really impactful and so dynamic. It's just night and day difference. So I'd say like vanilla World of Warcraft. I'd say Skyrim, Morrowind, another very good game you can lose yourself in. Fallout 3 is another great game you can lose yourself in. New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas, again, is another very good game you can lose yourself in. Elden Ring, Legend of Zelda, the most recent Legend of Zelda games.
Tears of Kingdom. What's it called? The one not Fallout. Lallo. The one was underwater, deep sea. Lallo.
Oh,
You have to,
Madonna, what was that called? And the other one was up in the sky, where they build a
yes,
society up in the
yes.
sky. What the fuck was that game called?
Lallo.
Oh,
You have to. There's a kid that you have to save as
yes,
well.
yes, 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 yes. Oh, Bruce,
Um,
another game that is very good to lose yourself in. Red Dead Redemption 2. That's another
Okay.
amazing game. Like it's
Okay.
really cinematic, like night and day difference to Starfield. Like night and day difference to Starfield. Grand Theft Auto 5, GTA 5 is another great game you can lose yourself in.
I've enjoyed
Witcher
Skyrim.
3, Witcher 3.
I have a
I have,
PlayStation 3, like, so I'm really behind the times. Like, I just got myself a PlayStation 3 and I have Skyrim on that. And I do enjoy just wandering around. But I notice, man, like whenever I come across like some stranger, I'll just end up killing them. Like I just go around like fucking Alex from A Clockwork Orange, just causing like mayhem. Like I don't follow the plot. I don't do
with the
any of the
droogs.
side. Exactly, I'm just like a total droog man in this game. Yeah, I think it's saying something like, dark about my psyche, but I don't know why. I just go around killing things.
To conclude, guys.
Bioshock.
Yeah,
Bioshock.
Bioshock. Oh, Bioshock. That's another good one, Bruce. That's another great one. Bioshock, Bioshock 1, 2, Bioshock Infinite. Such good game, such game. Anyways, my rating, guys, for Starfield is a 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Massive disappointment for me. Really, really,
Not
really don't get the
not
reviews this game has gotten.
not 10 on 10. Not 10 on 10.
Oh, oh my god, these mods. No, it's a 2 out of 5 for me. Super disappointed. I mean, yes, beautiful graphics for certain cities, but like Bruce said, like the visuals will only get you so far. Let's move on, guys. Next review. Shall we tackle Cobweb first?
Yep.
Let's go. Let's go.
Franco, want to
Cobweb.
cover Cobweb? So tell us,
لا
Franco,
لا.
what is Cobweb about, and what did you think about it?
All right. Can you help me out with the with the summary? Because usually, guys, we read the summaries. But anyway, I think I can say that Cobweb is about this boy. Most literally, it revolves around the boy who's bullied at school. He also has a bit of a family situation where the parents seemingly gaslight him, and this boy basically starts hearing sounds. Things go bump in the night. And he tries to investigate the mysterious knocking sounds that are coming from inside the walls of his house, unveiling a dark secret that his sinister parents have kept hidden from him. So, look, I think this movie has a lot going for it. Mood, cinematography. I feel Lizzie Kaplan, if she honed her skill more, would have made a really creepy mother. Sometimes it was creepy and sometimes it was overplayed. Anthony Starr, I hope that I see Anthony Starr break away from his from this sort of. He actually started with Banshee, right? How was his character on Banshee? Was I don't know if it was
I haven't
on the
watched it,
good
so
side.
I can't say, Franco.
Because I hope he doesn't go into the stereotypical kind of roles, because even here he has more humanity here than he does with Homelander. Obviously, like Homelander is like the way he holds himself as Homelander is Anthony Starr, super creepy. But this one, there's a kind of ambiguity in it. The issue with this movie is the last 10 minutes. It felt so rushed, and it's like, oh, okay, there's going to be a sequel. I'm it's like there's no spoilers about it. But why I'm really hating this kind of things. Like, listen, can you just close the story off? It's not gonna be it's not gonna do like it's not as it's as if we have to put everything has to be a franchise or an IP, you know. Anyway, the other thing that has got going for it is the cinematography. There are some certain moments with the lighting. I really like the lighting. There was the moment like when you see just a whole blank wall and then a circle with the flashlight. And
Yes, yes, that's
one of
brilliant.
the and one of the scenes that I liked was his nightmare. Actually, when the nightmare sequence
Yes,
was
the
quite
nightmare was my favorite part.
Yeah.
was pretty creepy, pretty scary, and even Anthony Starr, like his the sound design,
Mhm.
the music was not bad as well, and like I said,
Did you feel
it
that the
had
ending
things
was a
going for it.
sequel? Did you feel that the ending was like a sequel bait, like a sequel tease?
Cobweb
I really
2
didn't.
coming to
I
theaters near
really
you.
didn't get that vibe from the ending. Like,
No!
No,
no,
there's
Lalo.
it feels
you really
like
think like
yeah.
it's should they try to set up a new kind of like villain, like a new horror villain, like for sequels? In fact, I felt the ending was like just about this constant sense of fear that the kid will have. Like, it didn't
But
feel like
it's
they were
still
trying
it's
to.
yes, but why? But it's like it's most probably what I feel like because even the way it is cut, it was
Hmm.
supposed to be a longer cut, and they just said, okay, let's do this in a voiceover. I'd rather have it seen like him having a happy. It would have gone down the usual route of like, okay, he's happy, but the this it's still there, and okay. In my if I'm going to do the same exercise that I ask you to do. If I were to take care of this movie myself, is I see him, for example, being with Miss Divine now. What's the boy's name? I forgot the boy's name.
Peter, I think.
Pete, yeah,
Uh,
Peter.
Pretty
yeah,
sure it's
Peter.
Fly
Peter.
away, Peter. Yeah,
Yeah.
Peter. So I would see Peter with Miss Divine, and then like I'd say okay, they tell him to say good night, no music, nothing, and then you see from the shadows you see this sort of hand coming out. Easy, creepy vibes.
Mm.
No need of like the booms and the sounds,
Mm. You know what it
because
reminded
it
me
was
of
like
the ending? Have you ever read The Talented Mr. Ripley? Or seen the movie
uh,
The Talented Mr.
Hmm.
Ripley? There's a
not
line
yet,
in the
not
book
yet.
where she says, like, for the rest of his life, Ripley will go on wondering if there's a policeman waiting for him at the end of
Hmm.
the, like road kind of thing. Like, he'll always have this fear of like one day someone will come and charge him with the crimes that he committed, or else it follows. For instance, it reminded me a bit of It Follows.
Oh
Like
no,
at the end,
exactly.
like at the end,
It
when she
follows
turns around and looks behind the camera, it just gives you the sense of like the characters are never going to be at peace. But I don't get the sequel tease out of that. I just feel like that's what the
no,
film
there
needs.
is it's all so rushed. But yeah, it follows was also it's also a great example of is did they get rid of it or not?
Hmm.
Um, I like and like I said, there's it was kind of they could have because even the opening was quite good. There was also a sequence where the kids go into recess as well was quite good.
I saw
No,
some
it had
complaints, Franco, about the movie taking too long to like pick up the pace and start. I didn't mind it at all. Like I liked
no, I
the
didn't.
slow
No,
opening.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. Like the dread was there. You're wondering whether these guys are actually psychologically like being abusive. You know, whether they gaslighting him.
And the parents, I really liked how it wasn't clear from the very beginning. Like the parents are crazy. It was always like, are they like super overprotective with their kid, or is something like super
And
sinister going on?
that's a qualm. That's a qualm about. It's like what
Warm.
does it when I thought about it. It's a qualm about yes because like
All right.
why if you have this monster in your house, why are you subjecting abuse to the brother?
Hmm. I felt that the
Like
the parents were
if
so kind of like overly creepy. Like, oh, and it kind of it was weird. Like all of a sudden, like in the opening scene, it's like they're like normal parents. And then like suddenly, like when the teacher comes over to visit, it's like suddenly they're like Miss Ratchet and Jack Torrance. Like
Well, I think that's because
suddenly
they
they're
started to become super protective of their kid because they were worried that obviously if the teacher investigates a bit too much and maybe gets the police involved, like obviously everyone will discover what happened. So maybe so far no one had been like interested in them. They're just this random family in a random
but they
house. And
they
But
were
one,
so
would
like overly creepy that it became like I was wondering, is this film like taking itself seriously, or is this film like blackly comic? Because like some things felt so kind of like, oh my god, like this is so clearly like red
the
flags, you
hammer.
know that. Yes,
We laughed so much at the hammer.
yeah.
He's like constantly carrying the hammer around with him.
yes, I
Yeah, the hammer
and
part was a bit
listen,
overdone, true. But yeah, I don't know why. But just looking at Anthony Starr's eyes, man. I mean, fuck, man. I just piss myself just looking at his eyes. Maybe there's a
but
bit of
that's
Homelander there as well. Franco.
exactly that's what I'm saying. Is like I think it's an issue. I think it's another issue with superhero everything right now. It's like you cannot when you see Anthony Starr, you see Homelander. It's a shame if you see this movie and to see
No, Tom.
Homelander.
No. But it's just the actor himself is so intimidating. His eyes are. Like, look at his eyes. He's like he's looking straight into your soul.
Actually, sorry, no, I'm being a bit rash with my decision because his turnout in the Covenant was also good
In the Covenant, I watched the
with
Covenant.
Guy Ritchie.
Yes. No,
He's
he was
the
good. Very good in
contractor.
that. Yes. He
Like
was very good in that. He's the guy
I'd
who
love
gave
to
them
see him
help.
in it.
He's the guy who
Yes,
gave them the
and
help, right? Man.
I'd love to see him in an action hero in an action role. I'd love to see how he would do in these jobs.
But he does have an
Um,
icy stare, like
yes. And the three
He's a
R's,
great
the three
actor. He's a
R's.
great actor. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Read, reading, writing, arithmetic.
Arithmetic.
I like the bit. And this is a bit of a spoiler where they go like, "You're grounded," and he's like, it's just like mom's like, "Go, that's right, go to your room." He's like, "Not the room, the basement." And he's like moves up for it. And I was like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, that escalated quick suddenly. Like,
yeah, so random as well. It's like,
yeah. But that was like comic to me. Like it all happened so fast that I was like, is this film meant to be tongue in cheek, or is this like, a pacing thing? But I enjoyed it. I thought it was like
To
sort of
conclude our
darkly
review
funny.
for Cobweb, guys, Franco, your rating?
I'd give it a 3/5 though. Like 6/10 is decent enough, but almost verging on the 5.5. But six is being generous and I think fair because
Bruce,
it has
yeah,
some
sorry.
really no. It's like the use of empty space is good as well. Like certain compositions and certain filming was good.
Nice. Bruce, anything else you want to add about this movie? Sorry, Franco, conclude.
I was gonna say the expressionistic lighting as well.
Yes. Yeah. Bruce.
I like this movie a lot. I thought it was a really functional, like effective chiller kind of thing. I found the opening it felt a bit generic. Like it seemed to be ticking off like all the kind of horror tropes. Like there's the creepy drawings, there's this like suspicious parents, there's the old creaking house, there's the parents who don't believe them and they say it's an old house, there's bangs in the wall. Like it felt very generic at first, entertaining but generic. But then I thought the second half really picked up and kept me guessing. And I think the director is obviously like a horror lover. Like you're seeing like there were like shot for shot recreations of like The Shining in this film. Like when
Yes,
the
yes,
teacher's
yes.
like swinging on the wall and the camera moves, are exactly like Jack Nicholson with the axe. Like he's obviously like a real horror lover. The ending reminded me a lot of Let the Right One In. I don't know if you saw the Swedish vampire film Let the Right One In. Do you see that one, Franco?
With the
Like,
swimming pool, with the parts
with
falling
the
in the swimming
bullies
pool,
coming
right?
to give like revenge. Like I found that whole last sequence of in the house with the bullies just tremendously
Yep.
tense. I mean, I was like next to Andrea was totally cool with it. I was just like nah, just covering my
Bruce is
eyes.
like,
Like so I square, man, like hell in these horror films.
basta jagħmel video nasties.
he's doing video nasties.
It's exposure therapy. It's exposure therapy. I would give this 4 on 5 myself.
Ooh, all right, 4 on 5. My case, I agree with you guys. I think most of the atmosphere was really well done. Cinematography was great. It's a good crowd pleaser. Did you guys think the final scene was a bit too dark at times? Like the climactic scene?
Like literally too dark or thematically
Like, yeah.
too dark?
No, as in like literally, like visually too dark. It
No,
was
ta.
a tiny bit too dark for me at times. Just a tiny bit. But then the lighting, the scene that you mentioned, Franco, that lighting was really good as well. So for me, it's a mixed bag and like highs and lows. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I'm between a 3 and a 3.5. I think I'll give it a 3.5 because I had a good time with it. And I really liked Anthony Starr in this. So 3.5 for me. Franco.
Do you think this would have made a great psychological horror? Actually, like they would have they were actually gaslighting him all along. Kiko.
True.
Yeah, but that's what you kind of think. I mean, going into spoiler territory, yeah, that's kind of what you think it's going to be, you know, and then it kind of does the rug pull of the end.
Yeah, but that's kind of like I think they overplayed the helplessness of it all. You know, it's like I was actually. It's not like Babadook how they embrace the darkness. In this case, like Lalla man, he's got the bullies, he's got his sister, he's got his parents. But Jesus Christ, give him an out, please. You know,
even the cinematography made me think this was going to be a bit more like elevated horror, like the way it's shot, like some of the scenes at the start. I thought it was going to go more into the psychological element. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. I had that impression from the opening, and then obviously it becomes a slasher and like more dark horror. Anyways, guys, shall we conclude with the big one? Liberal Hacks review Sound of Freedom.
The Ad Lib Tards.
The Ad Lib Tards review Sound of Madonna, that guy. Madonna, that guy. I laughed so much. The pedo mustache. I don't know why.
Listen,
July 4th.
Look, that is one of the. I like that movie. I like this movie. Let me just start by saying that. But that pedo character, he looks like he went to a barber shop and was like, "Give me the pedo.
Give me the pedo
Give me
look."
the pedo look." Like the most generic looking pedo. But
anyways, Bruce, what's it about and what did you think?
So, Sound of Freedom. It's about a guy called Tim Ballard, who's I'm not sure if he's CIA or Special Services. Somewhere.
Homeland Security, right?
Homeland Security guy who goes off in search of these kidnapped children who have been sold into sex slavery, basically. And it's about this mission going into South America to try and rescue these children from these child traffickers, based on a true story. And I mean, obviously, this film, like if you've been following, has been really kind of like overshadowed by controversy. A lot of people saying it's like QAnon adjacent, and that it is, I don't know, that it's right wing. To be honest, I didn't find that at all in this film. I found this film to be very well made, very gripping, and kind of like had a sense of like real urgency in its storytelling, which you don't really find that much, you know, in movies. Like this really felt like a movie that they wanted to make, you know, because they wanted to, you know, send a message or get the word out, you know. And I admired it a lot. I thought it was very simply but smartly directed, very well shot. I thought the cinematography was really great.
Very effective, very, very, very effective.
Jim Caviezel, I know Jim Caviezel kind of perhaps is the reason there's such a shadow of this film, because Jim Caviezel does seem to have kind of sympathies with QAnon, which It's basically a massive
No,
conspiracy theory about
it's
like the
it's
elites and power, like having. But I
it's
think
not it's not seemingly, Bruce. It's not
no,
seemingly.
no,
It's
no,
confirmed. So
no. Okay. That unfortunately did cast a shadow over the film, but I think his performance in this movie is a good one. Like he does seem like a man on the edge. He just like there's like this pain behind his eyes, you know what I mean? Like, and you don't really know where he's going or when he's gonna crack. There's this constant kind of like tension beneath him, you know. So I thought he was very well cast in the part. Yeah, and I think it's a pity that this film got so Madonna. It became such a political like hot potato. This movie because
Yeah, it became
it's
another
really
front of the culture war.
yeah,
Oh, it became another
it's
front of the
really
culture
not
war.
a right or left thing. Like anyone who sees this movie, I think. I mean, you might have
I,
issues with it, like in terms of like its filmmaking style, but I think in terms of like its actual story and its message, no one, left or right, should have any kind of.
no. But let me tell you. Like I said, like I said before recording. I don't think that is my theory was because I didn't explain at all what was my
Mm,
issue with this movie. I believe that is a really well made movie.
mhm.
I trust that the filmmaker most did do great. Even seeing some of the stills as a movie, it works. The problem behind it is it's behind the scenes story. There's so much going on. Like even the it's not the true story. There's lots of mythomaniac things going on. It's like some stuff is exaggerated. The Jim Caviezel being QAnon about it, that didn't do anything good. The the marketing was really like below the belt, like the company buying tickets, make it seem that the movie is sold out and people are actually going into movies, seeing the theater empty and like okay, what the hell is going on? Which is really it is really devious, don't if there's this QAnon thing going on, why fan the flames? It's really devious. It's really devious how they did it. And it's the person I feel mostly sorry for is the director. Like I'm sure as if you see it as a movie
Mm.
about someone doing something right, it works,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I
And
think
like Rambo, at the end of the day, Rambo like took the zeitgeist of the 80s, really made a good movie about it. But then it came into it went into what you call it. It went into this territory of like almost Republican sort of thing.
mm,
The thing is this: if it's bad, because I also like
Right.
some movies really pander to this kind of like, oh, look how woke we are, blah blah blah. There is that pandering on the woke side, but then don't go on the flip side and pander to the even
But
more
the movie doesn't, Franco.
crazy
That's the
people.
thing. Like watching
no,
this, I went in like expecting the worst. I went in expecting like America, America
Yeah,
will
yeah.
save the kids. White man will
America,
save
fuck
the
you.
Yeah,
dark-skinned kids.
yeah.
And then it really wasn't. It really wasn't. It really wasn't at all that. Like, yes, there is a bit of white savior in this movie, but like I think they do the best they can not to make this like a white savior
It's a true
tropey
story.
kind of
Like, yeah,
movie.
you have to
No,
excuse
no,
it if it's a true story.
no,
Like, it,
no, 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 no. Bruce, forget the true story is not so true, because there was a Vice documentary which somehow got pulled at the very last minute. The guy was also a security advisor to Trump. That's another issue about it. No, I mean, listen, like I said, it's not going to make a whole difference me not supporting it. Like, and I'm making it clear, watch it as a movie. I feel like I would enjoy it as a movie. Like, I would put aside all the weight and baggage behind it, and I would come out from this movie agreeing with you guys that this is really a well-made movie. Like I said, specifically, it's like, because then again, if we're going to go on the liberal side, Woody Allen. there's the baggage of Woody Allen now as well. Like I know I'm going a bit slightly off the tangent, but follow the thread. If we're going to be like icky about stuff, then we shouldn't watch Roman Polanski or Woody Allen. You know?
I don't know. I don't think you can like begrudge a movie. One, what the star says outside in his personal life, right? And what the studio, like for instance, the studios. Okay, let's talk about the inaccuracy of the story, right? From what I read, I haven't done a whole ton of research into this, but what I read is that the Vice said that the film doesn't really put out falsehood. It's kind of just maybe embellishes certain things.
It does, because I
Every,
did some
which is
research on
every
it. It
movie does.
embellishes, but
The
every movie
exactly.
embellishes.
The Social
No,
Network
exactly,
is
yes,
a
yes,
brilliant
yes.
movie. It's I mean,
But it
the Social
embellishes.
Network is chocked with falsehoods, and this film, from the sound of it, is fairly accurate. I mean, I was seeing from what I was seeing in terms of like middle-leaning or non-partisan news sites, or mainstream news sites. It's fairly accurate to the operation that this guy went on. Yes, maybe there is a bit of heightening, for entertainment or whatever, but
And in any based on a true story movie, Jeffrey, I give it. It's fine. You embellish. It's just this movie is not a true story. It's not a documentary. It's based on a true story.
exactly.
There's also now. I think there's also this kind of plausible deniability now. I think they've honed as far as media is concerned. I would give this to the right wing. Like as far as honing the media and its power, totally up to the right wing. The left wing is still trying to find a proper voice and on how to reach people, because this movie reached lots of people.
Well, I find it, to be
Again,
honest, I find it kind of reassuring that this film made so much money, because like this people turned out in droves to see a non-IP, based on a true story film about something that's pretty heavy and serious, child trafficking, and get this film made more than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which got 300 million chucked at it by Disney. I mean,
And this
put
costs
aside
like what,
if you put
30 million,
aside
like
like this
15 to
cost
30
14
million.
million, 14 million
14
this film,
million?
14 million
Jesus.
compared to 300 million for Indiana Jones. And it's like, okay,
this made 100 million. Check.
this
Over
made
100 million.
nearly 200 million.
Austria.
Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, put aside the politics, like people are coming out to see an adult drama that's not based on any kind of IP. You know what I mean? That's a bit reassuring, I find. In terms of the audience's tastes.
I think this is like playing both sides to a fiddle. It's like I'm going to buy a tote bag so that I'll be like environmentally friendly. Oh, I'm going to buy a ticket to Sound of Freedom so I can save a child. You know what I mean? No, but again, I'm gonna repeat myself. Watch it as a movie. We all know that it's um, uh, embellishments that are going to be continuously. The Covenant was super embellished for sure, even though it's based on a true story as well. Tetris was embellished a la local.
Ooh.
Like
I
there's
mean,
there
that's
was
the
no
thing. No, that's the thing. That's the thing. These kinds of movies, they embellish. Dude. You expect them to embellish. Dude. If you want to, I mean, you're not going to make a movie just about facts. Like, I think it would be a very boring movie just to showcase them spending 12 hours looking at the fucking pedo waiting on his. I mean, of course, they're going to embellish some elements. I did some research, guys, to go through like the numbers and whatnot, and I found this number. Like, this was done. This research, this study was done in 2020. So the U.S. National Human Trafficking Hotline identified 22,326 trafficking victims. This was in 2020. And survivors last year, of those, 14,597 were cases of sex trafficking. 1,048 were sex and labor trafficking. This is just in the US, mind you. Farm and domestic work are common avenues of labor trafficking, according to Hotline. Average. So this is one of the things, for example, that I think the movie maybe does embellish a little bit, because generally they don't really go for the super young kids when it comes to sex trafficking. It's more like 15 to 17-year-olds. Yeah, in fact, the average age of those trafficked was 17. Numbers sharply decline of those older that were identified by the hotline. Some of younger victims was about the same as the number of 17-year-olds. So it's mostly like 15, 16, 17-year-olds. So that's, I think, one of the things that it maybe misrepresents. I did some research as well on the story. The rescue on the island scene, which you can see in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler, that actually did take place. In fact, around 50 kids were saved in that actual. It really, actually, really happened. So that whole operation is accurately displayed. I mean, with regard to the kids, like I said, it does misrepresent a little bit the age. They're not as young as they're shown. However, for example, in the case of Looper, because I got some research from Looper, I got some research from the not Hollywood Reporter, from The Guardian as well. Like the Looper article, for example, says it misrepresents how trafficking usually happens, and it goes into the fact that usually they aren't attacked by total strangers, which is the way into the night, but they are kind of like manipulated. And I thought the movie did that really well, like the opening scene.
Yeah.
With
Scene
the star telling them that she's going to train them to become. I thought that represented that perfectly. So I don't get this part that it misrepresents how trafficking usually happens. Yes, there are some clips, Bruce, where they show like kids being caught, but those are like actual real clips, like real life things that happen. But the movie focuses on like the manipulation of the dad and the manipulation of the kids. Bruce.
Yeah. On the one hand, I think in response to this, I think no one is saying that this film has to represent the majority or the average case. This is talking about the specific operation, right? So I don't think the film should have the burden of being the most representative, like what is the most common form of child abduction. We have to show that, This film is about this specific case. And secondly, a film has to be like an hour, 2 hours long. So if they kind of take certain shortcuts in the way that they show the kidnapping of the kid, that could just be economic storytelling. You know what I mean? Yes, maybe the majority of kids get to know their kidnapper for months, or of grooming and communicating online, but obviously the film has to get moving. And I think the film still showed be careful about who you trust your kids with, be careful about leaving them alone with anyone. I still think that came across very strongly in the opening scene.
And like I got this from the actual studio itself, Angel Studio. So does the movie accurately depicts human trafficking? It says that's a bit of fact and a bit of fiction. So like in the beginning of the film, real security camera footage is shown depicting various kidnappings. While such incidents do occur in the realm of human trafficking, it's important to recognize that they do not represent the majority. When we think of sex trafficking, our minds often conjure up images of dimly lit foreign alleyways where vulnerable street children are abducted, exploited, and sold. While this is a horrifying reality, it's crucial to understand that sex trafficking is not limited to foreign countries, an alarming issue within the United States as well, and is on the rise. Reports of human trafficking have been documented in all 50 states in the US. This is 2022. Predators can take on various forms, including soccer coaches, trusted teachers, neighbors, uncles, and aunts. It is worth noting that the movie took creative liberties in depicting the different methods of child trafficking. While instances do exist where children are transported in various vehicles, majority of trafficking occurs through a manipulative grooming process. Sound of Freedom effectively portrays this in the child modeling scenes, and I agree with this completely, where children and sometimes their parents are lured with promises of money, food, or affection, only to be exploited or trafficked. So I agree with this completely. I think the movie does a really good job. In fact, the opening scene, Bruce, really shocked me. I could see where it was going. I could see where it was going, but at the same time, like, oh my God, no, don't leave them there. It was really, really shocking. And like the photos and over sexualizing them, the buttons and the lipstick. That was wow. That was really powerful.
And the music in this film is really good. I found the music really kind of eerie, but also kind of like, I don't know, like most choral music, like at times.
Guys, what was the message, by the way? There, he said there was a 2-minute message somewhere.
Yes.
Oh my God, a special message.
Because we're ending the film, and me and Andrea turned to each other, and we're like, that really wasn't that like flag wavy, Trumpy at all, That was like, no, it's fine. Like we were kind of both like relieved it wasn't what the media had kind of jumped up. And then as the end credits are playing, it says like special message in 20 seconds. And I was like, there's like a countdown to this special message that's going to appear. And I was thinking, oh shit, like movie, quit while you're ahead. You know what I mean? I hope this doesn't go into a total like, QAnon thing.
Yeah.
But then I
turned to Bruce. Bruce, then I turned to you. I'm like, shall we leave?
Shall we leave?
Before it ruins the whole movie for us. But
exactly. But the message
ahead,
I
Bruce,
thought was fine. I mean, it was basically like a marketing stunt where they could put on a QR code, and Jim Caviezel says like, this film was made for very little money, and we want to spread the message as much as possible, So you can buy a ticket for someone to go and see this movie. Now,
pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Now,
just pay it forward.
Exactly.
I think totally fair. Like, it's obviously like he seems like he's genuinely really invested in this whole thing of raising awareness of child trafficking. So, if this gets more people aware of these dangers, totally fine with it. I don't see any issue with that.
No, neither do I. To conclude, guys, Bruce, I don't know if you want to add anything about the movie before I give like my concluding thoughts on it.
I mean, I think it's very well directed by Alejandro Monteverde. Monteverde, I think that's how you pronounce it in Spanish, with the V becomes V has a B sound, right? I don't think it's a perfect movie. I think it resolves itself a little bit too conveniently and cleanly. I feel like it could have had more suspense. I think it could have played things out longer, had a bit more tension to it. But I think generally it's a gripping film. I would give it 4 out of 5. And yeah, I think just separate the whole. The Guardian, for instance, gave it 1 out of 5, and I don't understand
20, Madon, out of 100.
Really? Peter Bradshaw gave it 1 star out of 5. It's like
Peter Bradshaw.
Look at these reviews, Bruce. Look at the share screen. Look at these reviews. Telegraph, 20 out of 100. It's bizarre, unsettling, and yet turning wine to water, bracingly dull.
No.
But if you read the Bradshaw review, because I read the Bradshaw, he doesn't even talk about the movie. He just talks about the behind the scenes and
behind the scenes. All of it is behind the scenes. Like everything is about, and it's the same thing with the Rolling Stone review. The Rolling Stone review was a real mess because it's all just about the QAnon stuff and
went in like ready to dislike this movie, or I think
yes. And again,
but that's why
Franco. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's why I said please. Like I agree with you guys. Go watch it, but as a movie, forget the whole shebang. I mean,
like it's like when you watch a podcast.
But this is liberal media. This is liberal media because it's not left leaning, and I mean we make it clear that we're left leaning. Like I said, I'm not into like don't go watch it, remove this from the cinemas, blah blah blah.
And this review from Rolling, I remember reading this because I read it yesterday of the movie. The reviewer like spends half the review talking about how there are a lot of right-leaning people in the cinema and how they were so like devastated by the end of the movie, and he was just laughing at everyone. I'm like, seriously, that's how you react to this?
Yeah, man, no, it's a liberal thing. I mean, for fuck's sake, guys.
I laughed. To be fair, there was one line where I laughed, where he's like, "God's children are not for sale." Like that line. I genuinely laughed because it was a bit too much for me. But apart from that, I was devastated throughout the movie. In fact, to give my concluding thoughts, I thought the movie was devastating. Like some scenes, I was just shit, man. This is some heavy stuff. This scene, Bruce, and no spoilers, like out of context, no one will understand it. But when he's waiting under the bed, and you know what's going to happen, I'm like, oh my fucking god, please stop him. I was so shocked in that. It's a powerful movie because like. As right-wingy as this will sound, we all want to protect the kids, right? At the end of the day, like I'm a teacher, so I spend a lot of time with kids, and I like my one target every time I go to work is like make sure that today you teach something. I think I managed to help students understand something, right? To learn something, and knowing that there are these kinds of dangers to kids. It impacts me. It impacts me a lot.
Can
Franco.
can I ask the modeling agency, was it in Colombia or in America?
No, it was that Colombia, Bruce? That scene.
I'm not too sure actually.
I think it was definitely not in America. Definitely not in America,
Yeah,
though.
no. Let's see.
I mean, it happens everywhere. It's true, and
No,
and the movie
no, it
does
happens
put in the
Honduras.
effort to showcase Honduras. Okay,
Honduras.
but the movie does put in the effort to showcase like the Americans are not good guys in this. Like minus obviously Jim Caviezel's character, and like he has to fight tooth and nail with the agencies to get any kind of help and so on. So there is that element to it. Anyways, to conclude, guys, because it's I'm very hungry. I think overall this is a great movie. It's a very, very well done movie. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Alejandro Monteverde's work because I think he does a great job directing this. Hate his politics as much as I do, but Jim Caviezel in this is great. He's really, really powerful presence in the movie. He really pulls off like the different aspects and the nuances of his role. You can tell, like Bruce said, the pain behind his eyes. But when he has to pull off like the drunk American tourist looking for sex, he pulls that off really well as well. So it's like, yeah, it's a multifaceted performance, and he does it. He pulls it up with flying colors. Overall, this is a great movie, which I think tackles a topic which Hollywood, I think, doesn't really tackle that much, does it? Like child trafficking, child sex trafficking.
I
Right
mean,
now, I can't think of movies which tackle it.
they would have to would have to star Kevin Spacey in there. So-
I mean, Hollywood does have a bit of an issue with
oh
that as
la
well.
la! Oh
So-
shit! Oh.
So, anyways, I thought the Sex Island sequence was very good. I thought the whole thing had me on edge. There was one particular scene with one of the kids there. I was on edge throughout the whole scene. Like Bruce, I agree that the climactic scene was very underwhelming, but I think there was a reason why it was a bit underwhelming. I think they really didn't want to turn it into some kind of like Rambo scene where he's like shooting everyone.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thought process behind it as well, Bruce. I think that's one of the reasons why it was maybe a little underwhelming.
But like when you see something like, for instance, Prisoners, which kind of or even Sicario, like Denis Villeneuve has a way of like really drawing out tension, and I feel this one didn't take
have that kind of
advantage
tension.
that,
True.
But still,
True. There were scenes where I was very tense and like really like scared, but it wasn't like a consistent like you mentioned, Prisoners or Sicario, where you're like constantly like holding your breath, right?
those
but
are
still,
like we're talking about like the top of the top,
the
like
5 out of 5 masterpieces. But still, this is a very, very good movie. I don't know if it will end up in my top, but I give this a 4 out of 5, like Bruce.
I feel icky. That's the problem. I feel icky genuinely. This is one moment where I feel like icky giving money to this kind of movies. Not and again, I'm making this as clear as possible. I don't want to censor this. Like if you I'm not going to judge anyone who watched it. I'm sure, like I said, my theory feels correct that the movie is a solid movie, well directed, and like I said, seeing some of the stills over here looks like very well done. I mean, kudos to the crew, kudos to the director. My issue is this feels like a whole big plausible deniability psyop. I know I'm sounding super fucking crazy about this. If there was a way to support the crew directly, I would do it rather than give it to the company. I would watch it, but I would leave it unrated. I would not rate it. It's like I'm like I said, like I am able to switch off the politics and see a movie and say, "Oh, this was a really well made movie,"
All right, let's conclude, guys.
No, I was saying no. Like I feel icky, but at the end of the day, like our our dear leader says, Hasanabi, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. I mean, like I said, but if you're, I'm not gonna judge you. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. It's not it doesn't, how shall I say, it shouldn't diminish from the craft of it being a good movie. Just switch off the politics, go watch it as a movie, forget the true story. There was never a movie that really portrayed the true story behind it, you know. That's it. I'm not, and if I watch it, like I said, I'm not gonna rate it. That's it.
All right, guys. Shall we conclude it here? Because I am very hungry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bruce, for joining us today. We had
All
lots
right.
of
Thanks a lot for having me. That was fun.
Yeah, very fun. We had lots of interesting stuff to talk about. Very good. Some decent movies as well to talk about. So I'm glad you joined us. As always, an entertaining podcast with you, Bruce.
Bruce, plug your socials.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Plug your
Yes,
socials.
please.
Plug your.
Well, let me just end, guys. If you love horror films, if you love filmmaking, even if you've never picked up a camera before and just want to give it a try, take part in Video Nasties. Submit your horror film before by the 13th of October, and come and join us to watch it at Spazio Creatif on Halloween on the 31st of October for Video Nasties 2023. I'll just leave it there, and I hope to see you guys there as well.
Definitely.
Will we be judging the movies? Will we be judging the movies for?
Well, yes. There going to be awards.
There are going to be a right-wing movie as well? Because I don't want to watch it though.
Jim Caviezel is
Thank you, Franco, as always. Another great episode. So it's a really good one. I like this episode a lot.
Thank you, Bruce.
Hello, guys. Thank you, obviously, to our viewers and listeners, as always, for joining us, for listening to us rant and talk for hours about movies. I hope you enjoyed this one as well. Like and subscribe as always, and peace out. Ciao, guys.
Ciao. Bye-bye.